Testing, I can hear me, I can't hear you, Billy.
I can hear you too, John. I don't hear myself.
Other way around. Testing, so I can hear me but not you. You can hear me but not you.
Yeah, I can't hear myself.
Got that?
I don't have one. I don't have a 9-volt battery on me. That's a Ben problem. Just give me 2 seconds. I gotta do something.
What sort of bat do you need?
9-volt.
9? I've got one. Oh, do you? Yeah.
What is this? Where's the headphone jack? Alright, 2 seconds. Alright, go again real quick.
Okay. You go first, Bill.
I'm not hearing myself. I can hear John.
2 seconds.
So I'm still not hearing myself. Still.
I always have one, but I never use it myself.
Still.
Okay, I can hear Bill.
Yep, that's good.
All good?
All good.
Clear in your ears?
Yeah,
Yep.
my ears, yep.
Alright, sick.
Just turn Bill's up a bit more and mine down a bit. Or yeah, probably in the amplifier.
That's what I was doing.
Oh, okay.
Lovely. Big crowd.
There you go. Yeah.
No, this doesn't sound like it's coming in.
As long as the parents of the players watching at home.
Yeah.
hear us.
Oh, they're not here? Are they allowed in?
Just real quick again.
So,
Yep, we've got the Ponting team has won the toss, so I'll introduce. Okay.
oh, that's better.
Far.
Oh.
That's way better. Good afternoon and welcome to Metricon Stadium here at the Gold Coast, sunny Gold Coast, where it's a pleasant 28 degrees, and we're about to watch what has become I was trying to think, it's every 2 years is biennial Ponting 11 versus Gilchrist 11, the under-19 Australian World Cup squad in a club match amongst themselves. My name's Billy Deem. I'm live stream commentator with you this afternoon, and joining me in the commentary box is John Devine. Welcome, John. Enjoying the Gold Coast weather?
Well, yes, it is. It's lovely sunshine. We spoke to the groundsman earlier and they said it stopped raining about 10 a.m. this morning, so they've had a lot of rain, but you wouldn't know it to walk out here in the middle of a Metricon. It looks absolutely fantastic, and, well, the stark reality is in the middle of it, you can see this white pitch, so of the two pitches on the left, but the two sides, Ponting 12 and the Gilchrist 12. Yes,
and pretty much they are the 15 players of the Australian World Cup team that in 2 or 3 weeks' time head off to South Africa, and a couple of extra players to make up the full 22 for today's match. Chris Rogers, we can see on our screen, who's the captain, the coach of the Australian team, and Ryan Harris is his assistant as the umpires walk out. We'll have a look at the Gilchrist 11 if you want to go through the team that have lost the toss and will bat.
Yeah, Will Gehring from South Australia, Max Clayton from Queensland, Cooper Connolly from Western Australia, Mackenzie Harvey from Victoria Metro, he is the skipper, Lachlan Hearn from New South Wales Metro, Liam Marshall from New South Wales Metro, Cameron McClure from Victoria Country, Patrick Rowe from Victoria Country is the wicketkeeper, Will Sanders from Queensland, Tanvir Sangha from New South Wales Metro, Liam Scott from South Australia, and Matt Willens from Queensland.
On the screen we've got the two Gilchrist 11 batters, Lachie Hearn and young Liam Scott, and the Ponting 11.
Ponting 11 is Hugo Burden from Queensland, Sam Fanning is from Western Australia, and Jaden Goodwin from Western Australia, Corey Kelly from South Australia, Tom Kelly from South Australia, Todd Murphy from Victoria Country, Mitchell Lowen from Tasmania, Will Parker from Victoria Metro, Will Prestwidge from Queensland, Bradley Simpson from New South Wales Metro, Zach Sleeman from Victoria Metro, and Connor Sully from Queensland. So there are your 24 best players in the country, Bill.
They certainly are. In the under 19 level, we'll over the next 3 hours of this T20 warm-up match for tonight's Stars and Strikers BBL fixture, we'll run through some of the stats on some of these players, introduce the rest of Australia to some of the up-and-coming stars of Australian cricket over time.
We'll get things underway from the northern end, I guess is the best way we can do it. The breeze when we were down there, Bill, there wasn't much to speak of. But I can tell you here at Carrara it is a lovely 26.7 degrees. The wind is southeasterly at 20 kilometres an hour, which is probably not getting into the stadium. It's very, very high. It'll be swirling up pretty much where we are. And expect a top today of 27 degrees. But I think for these young players, humidity 80%, they won't matter what the temperature is. They've got an hour and a quarter out in the field, both sides, and they'll be looking to make the most of the selectors. Some have already probably cemented their spots in the side, some haven't, so here's a chance to impress as the umpires look for the scorers way up here in the stands, and we are underway here at Metricon.
Young Connor Sully coming in from that northern end.
And there's an inside edge and nothing like a French cut to get yourself off the mark, and there's 4 runs straight away till the Gilchrist 12. Not something that Adam Gilchrist probably played. If he did, he'd probably go for 6. So first runs of the match.
It all goes into the scorebook. Young Connor Sully, right arm quick from Queensland. He's bowling to Lachie Hearn, the New South Wales player. Lachie Hearn was the leading run scorer in the recently finished under-19 national championships. Scored 462 runs at 66 across that carnival.
Connor Sully has 2 slips, and this finds the middle of the bat, and there's no run. So, yes. Connor Sully. Yeah, 2 slips. He has a backward point. He's a third man. Extra cover, mid on and mid off. And then square leg inside, a fine leg inside the circle with square leg on the fence. So 2 allowed out in the first 6 overs as Sully again.
To Liam Scott, sorry.
So Scott and Hearn are the 2 batsmen. Scott getting a boundary off the first over. Hearn yet to face a ball. But very brown, isn't it, the pitch, Bill? We went out there and had a bit of a look. It was there's nothing assisting the bowlers. Very big outfields.
Drop-in pitches here at Metricon. It is the home of the Gold Coast Suns in the AFL competition. They play a little bit of cricket here. The Brisbane Heat last week, just prior to Christmas, played one of their big bash games here. There was a Marsh Cup match played earlier in the summer season between the Bulls and the West Australian Warriors.
Sully again. Simon finds the middle of the bat. I just knocked it down with his hand there, did Sully, to stop it reaching mid-on. Yeah, so the batting order we have on the screen is Scott and Hearn, with Harvey and Connolly 3 and 4 respectively, with Max Clayton coming in 5. As we know, in T20 cricket they can change, Bill. The pinch hitters might come in, or somebody left-hander goes out, bring a left-hander in as Sully comes in again. Shorter ball, good bouncer that one, right at the face. Super ball to Scott, welcome. He might have copped one in the mush, might have had the...
He's got the...
Doc have a look.
The helmet, it's hit him on the helmet, so as is standard protocol, whenever the balls hit the helmet, the doctor comes out for a quick check. Normally they replace the helmet at the same time. The doctor does the little concussion test, asks him his full name, date of birth, favourite food.
Lachlan Hearn's second ball, so...
Favourite beach on the Gold Coast. We'll get a replay of it here from Sully. Just put it in well short and just came off and up at him.
Wow, that's a beauty. So if you bend your back, they'll jump up on you. But no, you're right, Bill. They're not going to replace the helmet, so...
No, maybe just more glove than helmet. Gloves were up there in the area. And if it hits the guard, then there's no need to replace the helmet. It's only if the I guess the skull
shell,
part of the helmet, the shell is hit, then they do have to replace it. Let's see what Sully does this time.
Yeah, Hearn, just one slip for him. I thought they might have brought one underneath the lid here for the last ball of the over, and that's gone for a big slash, and that's hit the gloves. Thinking about a run. I don't know if you got an edge to that. They're having a little look at the end of the first over. Boundary off the first ball, and none for 5.
We'll see a replay of that last one where, yeah, certainly stirred him up a little bit, and he just had a big swing at that one. But as I said, Lockie Hearn was a form batter across the carnival with those 462 runs at 66. And Connor Sully, the tall Queensland right-arm fast bowler, just stirring him up a little bit.
That's what Queensland fast bowlers do, Bill. Dig it in short. So we see Scott taking guard. He's on 5 of 3 deliveries. And let's try and make out the bowl. We're a long way up. And that might be Bradley Simpson, I think, who's got the ball in his hand. Number 12 will come from the southern end. He has one slip. Backward point, extra cover. Come in right arm over.
Comes off the bat nice and off that middle. Nice sound as it ricochets. The sound ricochets around the ground.
There's not a lot of people in here to absorb that sort of sound, Bill, so we're treated to the bat on ball. BBL game tonight. Hopefully the weather will stay good, so. Scott again. Oh, playing a miss there. Good ball there from Bradley Simpson from New South Wales Metro.
A lot of foot movement in that one, just sort of played from the crease.
Yeah, the power play. Not sure whether most opening batsmen in T20 actually open the batting. In red ball, he's gone for a slash through extra cover. That'll beat the infield, but it hasn't got all of it, and they'll turn for 2. Scott moves to 7.
It just seemed to hold up a bit on him and hit it more on the top of the bat than the middle down the bottom. But picked the gap, so wasn't any chance of being caught or anything like that. But both batters have sort of thrown the bat and missed more than they've hit.
Keeper there is Zach Sleeman. crouches down behind. That one's square driven, and that's a
gone.
great catch in the backward point region. Terrific catch, and Hearn is on his way. Well, Scott, I should say.
Young Mitchell Owen, the Tasmanian, took that catch in the gully. It just flew off the edge of the bat again, just flaying the bat at the ball. And we'll see that on replay. Just hit it nice and hard, but travelled quickly straight to the Tasmanian, and young Mitchell Owen pocketed it like a little boy's school lunch.
Sometimes they say the harder you hit, the harder it is to catch, but I think the harder he hit that, the better chance he had of being caught because he had no time to think about it. Went like a bullet to his left. I'm not sure whether he's right or left-handed, but took a great catch.
And the first wicket falls with the score on 7. All 7 runs going to Scott.
There's the batsman out, and the new batsman coming in for Gilchrist is Max Clayton from Queensland, who plays for the University Club. Max Clayton, he's any relation to Jack. He's certainly a talent, so he's got a slip. And the breakthrough there for Bradley Simpson from New South Wales Metro. It wasn't a great ball, it was there to be hit, and unfortunately he hit it straight to the fieldsman. He takes Gardner away, comes from the southern end against Simpson. Lovely square drive, and that'll beat the infield. I don't think they'll get past third man, Billy. Just for 2 though, well run.
Again, picks up the outside edge of the bat. Certainly the bowler's generating a bit of pace, but just seems as though it's not quite coming off the wicket with that same pace, and the batters are just being caught a bit early on their shots.
Yeah, just wondering whether they need to pitch it up. We see it all the time. Pitch it up, a chance of swinging more right arm over again. This one, he's pitched it up and nicely beats the outside edge. Good over there at the end of the second over. 1 for 9 with a breakthrough.
Who's on?
End of the second over.
You hear the breeze coming in, a sea breeze, as we're probably only about a 5-minute drive off the Broad Beach beach.
We're going to all around Australia and around the world, and there's nowhere like the glitter strip. I can see Russia from my house, but I'm not going to say that. I can see Sky One, the tallest building in Australia on the Gold Coast. So he continues. Foolish ball, thick outside edge, but they'll go to third man. Just a single. Into double figures, 1 for 10.
So both coaches here today for the team going to South Africa for the World Cup. Chris Rogers, coach of the Australian under-19 side, ably supported by Ryan Harris as his assistant coach.
Well, Ryan looks fit enough to keep playing, didn't he? Look, fantastic. You know, his club Toombul wouldn't mind him coming back to have a bit of a tonk. Sully again. That's our first sundry of the match. That's good bowling from the Ponting 12 until then.
Pretty standard field that we see. 2 slips, a point, third man, cover, mid on, mid off, backward square or just pure square leg on the rope, and fine leg up inside the circle.
I hope they've got Max Clayton. They've got Harvey on the scoreboard. I just might have to check that as he comes in. That's a short pitch ball. Well, I don't know how he got it down there to third man. Let's see what the umpire says. It has actually come off the body for a leg by. Well, that'd come off, Bill.
I think it came off his hip as he swung through earlier. I think that there's certainly some pace being generated by the bowlers, but sort of holding a bit. There's a fair bit of grass cover across the wicket. Probably not quite as much grass as what we've seen at the MCG and days 1 and 2 of the Boxing Day test down there. But certainly there's some good grass cover here at Metricon.
Hearn goes for a big swing and a miss again. He's trying to put that one over the infield. As Bill's mentioned, it's not enough footwork from Hearn at the moment. Stand and deliver. Yes, we've got Harvey wearing number 5. For us is number 3 in our score sheet, but anyway. Left-hander weights. That one, he's got the middle of the bat there. It's not going to go all the way either, Bill. It's just I don't know whether they're not hitting it hard enough or it's just taking an eternity to get to the bat.
Yeah, it was sort of well-played shot. Got the full bat to it. And a fair bit of grass. Grass isn't tall or anything, but yeah, it certainly pulled up as it got towards the rope. Deserved 4, but just came up with the 2 for young Lockie Hearn.
Interesting, the Ponting at 12 and winning the toss and deciding to bowl. So I must have thought something in there, and Sully comes in, right arm over. That's a full pitch ball and finds the middle bat, and the field's going to mid off. It's very rare that you win the toss and send the opposition, unless you're New Zealand skipper.
1 for 14 off 3 overs. Still 1 ball to go. Been a bit early.
Yeah, he had a wide down the leg side. So no slip now. He's taken that out. He's whipped that off his pads and just the one to mid wicket. And keeps the strike. 1 for 15 after 3. 5 and over. I like when it's those numbers, but I can do my arithmetic quite simples.
Not sure there's a trophy presented at the end of this match, or maybe there'll be a bit of banter at the end of the day's play in Melbourne between Ricky Ponting and Adam Gilchrist, both of them in Melbourne, commentating for their respective networks. As that breeze picks up a bit and comes through the effects mic.
Is that a... No, I think it's
That's
still the same bolt, yeah.
Simpson, yep.
Yeah, he just moved his mark. Waiting for him's Hearn, full face of the bat there, so he's pitching it up, which is good to see.
This match, as part of the Australian World Cup, has been a great little lead-in for the team going across to Western Australia. 2 years ago when these guys played. Ollie Davis, who is again part of this squad.
That one, he's gone for the big hoik over square leg. I don't know whether it was the umpires had a look at each other. It was legit. Yep. Tell you what, Bill, if he gets hold of his Hearn, he's throwing 3 vertebrae out if it was me out there. He's just throwing everything at it. Keep his head down. He's going to put it into the red chairs.
There's probably a bit of bragging rights going on amongst this squad.
Full toss in his.
He's threw
just trying too hard.
He did. Really threw everything. Yeah, I was going to say that out of 2 years ago, the Under-19 World Cup side, Ollie Davis, who's still in this squad but not playing this match with an injury. Jason Sanger has gone on to play for New South Wales and also some List A Australian cricket. Xavier Bartlett for the Bulls, Lloyd Pope at South Australia, Will Sutherland for Victoria, Jack Edwards at New South Wales, Maxie Bryant for Queensland.
Hearn bets that over the infield. Only just there's 3 players converging on it. They'll take 2, long boundary, and they'll settle for just a 2. 1 for 17.
And Nathan McSweeney was the other one from the Australian Under-19 that's gone on and played Shield cricket. So a lot of these guys have gone on to play for their states in subsequent years, in a year or two after. And again, in this one, quite a few contracts. Connor Sully on a Bulls contract as well. Sam Fanning, who'll open the batting for the Ponting 11. It's on a Western Australian contract.
This one he smacks straight down the ground. That's the second boundary of the innings, and that will just get there for 4. I thought it was going to get there a little bit quicker, but nonetheless 4 it is.
Mackenzie Harvey, the other batter there at the moment with Lockie Hearns, on a Renegades contract and has played some Shield cricket as well. So a few of these players are already making their way through the adult stuff as 19-year-olds, 18, 19-year-olds.
So Hearn has gone to double figures. He's on 10. Short ball, and he hits the toe of the bat there to wide mid-wicket. No runs. So at the end of the 4th over, 1 for 21. Well, he's showing his hand. But they had every man right on the edge of the circle for that last ball. Sully will bowl his 3rd over from the northern end. Yeah, it's interesting. There's a lot of players. I've just come back from the Youth Cup, the Queensland Bulls Masters run in Mackay, and there's a lot of talent up there. And a lot of those players are actually playing second and even third and even second grade in grade cricket here in Brisbane as well. So I'm going to travel a long way to play their cricket. So there's plenty of talent underneath. And it's interesting you say that the players, Nathan McSweeney goes on to play red ball as well.
Yes.
Obviously playing for the Bulls. So there's talent there. Tried to guide that to 3rd man, one of the 2 men out in the deep.
We'll see Matthew Willens bowl later today. Another one who's been in and around the Bulls squad this year. It was talked about at one point of making his debut earlier.
Well, he gives that left arm option.
Tanveer Sanger's another one that's played some Thunder cricket. And Fraser McGurk not playing this game because he's playing tonight's match for the Renegades, so he's had to miss this game for BBL duties.
That's a backward slash and beats the fieldsman. Harbour Bridge dive in the end, and that's another boundary. And this time it goes to Harvey.
Yeah, Mackenzie Harvey. Nice little cut, a big gap between the keeper and Point. 3rd man down there, but went pretty quick across the outfield. That breeze coming, the sun starting to dry out the outfield.
It did race along there, didn't it? Compared to other parts of the ground so far, so you might be right. Harvey waits again. This time he's set into his crease.
Well, the groundsman said they had 72 millimetres here in the last couple of days, so fair bit of rain, and certainly compared to the rest of the nation at the moment.
Yeah, that's nearly 3 inches.
So the Gold Coast has been getting its fair share over the Christmas Day and Boxing Day era.
Sully again. That one slashed over extra cover. That's 4 more.
That was well hit. That was nice off the bat and right across the outfield.
At the other end, Hearn saying, I've tried that. I haven't been able to hit it.
No.
We're into the second last over of the power play, so they've only lost the 1 wicket, which is a very good start here for the Gilchrist 12. They need a partnership breaker. They need Ponting himself out there to bowl just 1 over to break this partnership. That one's over the top of extra cover, and that will go to 4 more. Beats 3rd man. That's backward Point.
Become a bit of an expensive over for young Connor Sully.
It's not finished yet. Yeah, just pitching it too short. And you mentioned at the start, Bill, was just sitting up anything short of a length and all the time in the world to get hold of it. Simpson at the other end has been pitching it up, and that's why Hearn's been going for the big hoo-ha. Able to get the bat on ball. Just needs to pitch this one up to finish it off the Sully. Harvey marches, backs it over extra cover. I don't know whether it's going to plug and stop. It will. No, just fielded, I think. But the fieldsman's going to suggest it's 4 runs. And it is. Wow, what an over. 2 steps down and kapow.
That was well smacked. We'll see the replay. Just went crunch. Again, everything behind it. And just belted it over the top of cover.
He didn't get all of it either. It was sort of a big, thick outside edge over extra cover. And nonetheless, that's the end of the over. Simpson will continue from the southern end. Scoreboard's just gone down at the moment. Give you an update shortly. So Hearn, what does he do against Simpson? He just needs to get that left foot down and get bat on ball. He certainly can throw a bat. So he has a fine leg on the circle. Square leg is 3/4 of the way to the boundary. Wide mid wicket, mid on, mid off. Cover, extra cover, backward point, and a third man. Simpson again, foolish ball. He's gone for the big smack. Can't get any timber on Willow, on leather I should say.
He's probably just going to have to change his tactics here a bit. Instead of trying to belt it for 4, just at least get the bat on the ball and just get even a single, just to get get a bit of confidence for himself. And he's on about strike 8 at the moment if it was baseball.
Yeah.
Just got to get the bat onto the ball.
Simpson winning the battle so far, and that one there is just good call, good run, good cricket all around there. So take the single.
Yeah, he's got plenty. He had plenty of spaces to get that single. Just get himself off the strike and get his own scoring going, even if he's just going along in singles. Just help him feel good about it. Help to pick up some of the pace of the wicket as well. We saw in the previous over Mackenzie Harvey not having any problems with the pace of the wicket.
Simpson. Oh, he's tried to glide that down to third man, so
there's a big gap again between Point and the keeper, and he tried to ease it down there. There is a third man on the rope, but very nearly, if anything, gave nearly an edge to the keeper. Young Zach Sleeman from Victoria would have loved to have taken that catch. Harvey steps across outside his off stump to play that out in mid wicket for a single.
Last over of the power play. Let's try and get a score for you. Brings Lachlan Hearn on a strike. Straight down the ground, hits the sponsor sign, and that will go all the way for 4 more. So they've come out of the blocks, and it's on the back of only losing the 1 wicket in this power play.
Yeah, nice little shot from Lachie Hearn. Just a bit of confidence that he took out of that single at the start of the over. Gives him a chance.
Again, whips that off his pads. Turn. Thinking about 2, but the fieldsman comes in nicely. So it is Clayton, the batsman, on strike. He's on 18 and Hearn on 11. The end of the 6th over and the end of the power play was no doubt. Well, is there a bowling change? Yes, there is. Mitchell Owen, is it? Bill?
Yeah,
Number
looks like
6.
Mitchell Owen, the Tasmanian, is going to come on with a bit of spin.
Smallest 6 you'll ever see. So with the spin and with the end of the power play, there's a Backward gully. This is for the left-hander. Man on point, man at mid-on. And they've got a sweeper at extra cover as he comes in. First ball and finds backward square leg coming into play. And there's a nice throw for the keeper. Micheloni's, well, it's pretty hard for him to pick an end to bowl with breeze because there isn't one. It's way up high. Wants to float it up that high. So now for the right-hander, we've got a man in cow corner, man at deep mid-wicket, extra cover, and a man at long off. Tries to sweep that one down the leg side. Max Clayton. Square leg umpires decide to stay at point. Pushes that one through. Good ball, but down leg side again.
Just taking a couple of balls to get that radar in.
Trying to sweep down the leg side again and another wide. So, interesting field place for Bill. They've got 2 men at backward point in a gully. Only about, 8 metres apart. Maybe they've done some homework.
Gets it past cover. Midhoff comes in halfway to the rope to save that. There was the 3 out on the leg side as well. Square leg, mid wicket and mid on were all on the rope. Brings the left-handed Hearn onto strike.
And just off the back foot, finds a sweeper. He's found his radar, Bill, but it can be messy with the left and right hand combination. Clayton on strike.
There he goes to the right-hander again.
It's a sweep. It does so nicely. Beats the man who's up inside the circle, and that will go for 4. A lovely shot. Great to see a young player able to play the sweep shot, especially like that.
Yeah, with fine leg being up inside the rope, and certainly Clayton's already been trying a lot to get it past him. He tried on the 3 wides earlier in the over that went down the leg side. Missed each one of those this time. A little bit on the stumps, gave him the opportunity to connect it with his bat and beat the square leg, who now goes back onto the rope. Laps it around this time.
This man has been dropped outside the circle now, so they'll turn for 2.
Clayton not afraid to bring out a couple of the fancier shots. To the young leg spinner. Mid wickets come inside the circle to allow fine leg to go back.
Another shot off the back foot, extra cover. So it took him a while to get his radar right. 3 wides in a row there, but Owen, no boundaries, so it's still a long over.
You can see a change of bowler too. Todd Murphy, the Victorian, is going to come in. And over Trundle, it's been a good start for the 2 Gilchrist XI batters. Young Lockie Hearn's taken a while to get his own batting radar in. Clayton's come up to the wicket after the early dismissal of young Liam Scott.
There you go. Just got a message from Jack Clayton, which is Max's brother. It is Jack Clayton out there wearing the number 5 on strike. He should know. Poor old Jack. He's up, turned his ankle in a T20 game the other day, so he'd be getting larger on the lounge watching the cricket. Sweep shot, and that's gone almost right behind the keeper. come off the bat. Well, that's the finest of sweeps I've ever seen.
It was nearly the back of the bat. Get it just over the head. They'll come round the wicket this time to the left-handed Hearn. Gives himself a bit of protection out on the mid-wicket rope, square leg and mid-wicket going back, mid-on, back on the rope as well, plus mid-off.
Around the wicket, thick outside edge. I'll turn for 2. That's all they'll get.
Yeah, again, he tried to sort of give that everything, but just managed to get the edge. No slip, so no danger of a dismissal. Picked up a pretty thick top edge. With third man inside the circle, there's always going to be 2.
Around the wicket again. Quick ball. I'll test him for 2. Here they come. He's going to be close. Has to be good throw, and he's not out. Still there.
The umpire gave that some thought. It was pretty close. It was a good bit of fielding to get in. He had a long run to get in, not before, just onto the circle. It was good running by both Hearn and Clayton just getting back in the photo finish.
Hearn, the left-hander. Tries a bit of a ramp shot. Had to wait an eternity for the ball to get to him, unfortunately. He just rolled up the bat, I think.
It's sort of like a premeditated. He was determined he was going to ramp it no matter where it went. The single brings Clayton back onto strike.
Going back over the wicket. Again, Simpson from the southern end here at Metricon. Lovely sweep shot, and it's going to take some work to cut that down for 4. It just got a fingernail to it, but it's gone for 4. Lovely shot again.
You can certainly see that young Clayton loves the sweep shot to the spinners, and to good effect. He's picked up a couple of boundaries off it. And he's knocked himself along quite well.
So we're just trying to get to a score update. See, our scoreboard's gone down. And
fingers and toes are all out trying to do the...
You don't want my shoes coming off the... We're a tight bunch, the 4 of us in the commentary box at the moment. So this is Sully's come back on.
Just trying to stem the run rate just a little bit.
Is that...
Although young Maxie Clayton took a liking to Sully's previous over.
Now that's Will Prestwich.
Will Prestwich.
Yeah, number 9. Short ball, just doesn't get all of that. Nicely done by the keeper.
With the full 12 playing, you can sub on and off. Obviously not 12 on the field at any one time. It gives the chance for all the bowlers to have a bowl and all the batters to get a bat. So not necessarily playing for sheep stations in this.
Scores 1 for 68. Hearn 23, Clayton on 32. Right arm over Prestwich. Good quick run here and thinks about throwing, but takes a single. Prestwich, a well-known name in Queensland cricket. Georgia Prestwich, part of the Brisbane Heats.
Women's side that won the premiership.
Yeah, back-to-back.
Back-to-back. And had a couple of great bowling performances. Brother Jack in the Heat squad at the moment. Played the other night. Got just the one over, I think, last over of the match. Didn't get a bat.
His dad, Scott, played for Queensland, but yeah, Jack Prestwich, I saw him play at UQ one day with cramps in his leg. He got to 90 just playing from the crease. Oh, lovely shot there. He dabs it down through third man. That's 4 runs.
Yeah,
Well,
that's not a sign of bad bowling or anything. That's just clever batting. Just letting the pace of the bowler get it down. And with no slips there, it's a nice safe shot to play.
the keeper for the Ponting 11 is
Zach Sleeman.
I think he had a bit of a look at these bowlers if to say he congratulate. I think there might have been an edge on that. Still has his third man, 4 outside the circle. So Lachlan Hearn's just starting. He's kept his head down now with the power play. Bill, he's playing smarter cricket, not trying to belt the daylights out of it. Work it around. And at the other end, Clayton.
Yeah, Clayton's got himself up to 32 off 19 deliveries. Hearn's 28 off 26.
Big hit, and it's a chance. A man in the deep. What a catch! Oh, he's dropped it. Well, I thought he swallowed it. It's been grasped in the end. But what an effort.
It certainly was. It was one of those catches where do you go for it or not? You're going to wear it in your teeth or not? And he dived at that last minute, decided to take it and just not quite getting his hands underneath it. But did manage just to keep it to the single. Sometimes in making those decisions you can miss the ball and it'll go through for 4, but it held the ball to keep it just to 1 run. But they're a horrible decision to be making.
Hugo Burden is the man. Wearing number 3 on his back. What a great effort. Take the car home. Prestwich again. Just turn the strike over. The balls that aren't hittable, just glide it for the 1. Left and right hand combination. So at the moment, the Gilchrist 12 are going on very nicely. 1 for 75. Hearn on 29. Clayton on 34 off 20, do you mind? 9 overs gone.
As we'll continue to see spin come in for the over that'll bring us up to the halfway mark in this innings. Just a reminder that the Ponting 11 or 12 won the toss and without much hesitation put them in. Gilchrist 11 getting themselves off to a reasonable start. 9 overs gone for 75, just the loss of the 1 wicket back in the second over.
Looks like it's a bowling change again.
No, still Todd Murphy.
Oh, it is Todd Murphy, yeah.
Yep.
Just gets tiny numbers.
Just gets a little bit of pace in bowling off spin, but does like to put a bit of pace on the ball.
Sweep shot. Finds fine leg. Come around from backward square. They're going to come back for 2. Long boundary out there.
Murphy will come round the wicket to the left-handed. No, he's going to come round the wicket still to Clayton.
Well, he's looking for another man to come over to this offside. Interesting. So therefore,
Well, he's noticed that Clayton likes to sweep him, so now he'll be really keeping him tied up closer to his body, not to allow him the chance to sweep.
well, or French cut, or was that a bye? Wait for the umpire. No, it's come off the bat.
Come off the bat. But yeah, Clayton's been wanting to sweep both spinners, so coming round the wicket means that he'll just be tightening up Clayton in that sweep. Take that out of his repertoire. He'll stay round the wicket to the left-hander. Probably not going to get a lot of turn off that wicket.
No. Well, there's an appeal. There's a quick run. Safe in the end and a leg by. Well, we're not in the best of positions to say whether that was out, Bill, so we'll leave it up to the umpires.
Up to the professionals to make the decision.
At least that brings Max Clayton back on strike. Uses his feet nicely. I'll push for 2. And Hearn said no. Clayton was keen, but he wasn't running to the danger end.
No, and probably hit it just a little bit harder than he'd hoped, which did take the second run out of it. And going, I'm no Usain Bolt, so I ain't getting there.
So Hearn again, left-hander. Just Steve Smith's that to Cow. Interesting shot. Pulls it outside off stump. Will be the end of the 10th over. 1 for 82.
Turn at the halfway mark of their innings in this T20 match. Just an update in the test. Tim Payne, the captain, on 69. Travis Heads up to 91. Australia now 5 for 411. The main action happening here at Metricon Stadium.
Change of bowling again.
We're back to Mitchell Owen, the Tasmanian.
Yep. Full toss finds player in the deep. So Mitchell Owen, so mixing it up. They need a breakthrough. The Ponting 12. This partnership is
starting to become a little annoying.
Well, they're looking at 150 plus, aren't they? At this rate. Oh, I'm waiting for Clayton to take guard. Full toss, belts that straight down the ground. It's going to fall short of both players in the deep. And I'll just get the single.
Yeah, really didn't get hold of that one at all. Sort of hit the top edge of the bat and went straight down.
And Clayton threw his head back. He said that was a gift. But just as well, it's a long way down here, Bill. He's got to get some heat on it if he wants to get over the rope. It's going to find empty grass as well, so they're throwing the bat now. They've only got one out. This could be dangerous here for the Ponting 12 unless they make a breakthrough. These two are going to cause some damage. Changes to the field. There's only one man inside the circle on the onside. As Owen comes in again from the northern end at Metricon, he finds extra cover over the roof of that man, and it goes for 4.
Yeah, Owen had tightened up. There's a gully and a point that are nearly close enough to be shaking each other's hands, so they were trying to get him to play through there, and when he'd bowled him the last ball, 2 balls earlier, he'd skewed it over the top of those fieldsmen. This time he went over the head of extra cover for 4 runs. Full of ball, and that one's a slower one. Just take the single. Got the boundary off the over. Yeah, they're batting like a side. They've got 9 handy batsmen still in the shed, don't they? Yeah.
Well, it's almost power play time again.
There's still some talent still to come in for that Gilchrist XII. Mackenzie Harvey. Patrick Rope.
Big one. That's going to go all the way, is it? Big 6, the first of the match there, and it's gone all the way to long off. And that's the end of it. Well, disappointing over there for Owen.
1 for 96 off the 11th over.
He went high in the air. I couldn't quite see whether it was going to go over the fence, but neither player was setting himself for a catch, so reasonably was going for 6, and we've got our first maximum for the match. A bowling change from the southern end. 1 for 96, as Bill said.
Corey Kelly, South Australian, going to come on.
Max Clayton moves to 45.
Yeah, I was saying there's still a good bit of batting to come in. Mackenzie Harvey. Patrick Rowe picked up 2 centuries in the under-19 carnival as well. Cooper Connolly, one I'm keen to see. Under-17 player that's qualified for the under-19 team.
That's crazy, isn't it? How good's that?
We've seen a bit
You're good
of
enough,
that.
you're old enough.
Yep, we've seen Will Sutherland do that. Austin Waugh's done that. Jason Sanger, another one of the recent ones to do that. Ollie Davies.
Corey Kelly, right arm over the wicket to Lachlan Hearn. Hearn, swing and a miss. Deja vu from the first over. It's 1 for 96. These two came together when the score was on 7. But Hearn, I think it was against Bradley Simpson. He threw the timber at Simpson. He couldn't get anything on it. Looks like Kelly's got that nagging Terry Alderman type pace. You just can't quite, for those of you who are, anybody, hopefully mums and dads are listening, know what I'm talking about. That's straight down the throat of fine leg inside the circle. He makes the breakthrough. The partnership comes to an end. Well, it was Bancroft-like.
It certainly was. He just flicked it off his pad. The knocker was looking shot, but went full down to Connor Sully, I think that was, at the fine leg inside the rope.
It wasn't an easy catch for Connor Sully. He had to go to his shoelaces to
grab it. In that position, you're actually blinded because you don't see what the bat's doing. And all of a sudden, the ball would have been travelling to him. He wouldn't have expected it to be coming sort of fine to that,
what do you call it?
Leg slip back on the rope type position. But young Lockie Hearn is dismissed. The score on 96. He's out for 38 off 34 balls.
Yeah.
Kelly picks up his first wicket in his first over.
He came to the party at the end there, didn't he? Hearn, he slow start. He was throwing everything at the bat, couldn't get anything on it. While Clayton was going to town. Then he got into some rhythm, but there Kelly makes the breakthrough and good catch.
And we see the captain of the Gilchrist XI, Mackenzie Harvey, now come out to the crease.
Another left-hander. So we've got it right now.
Kelly's got a touch of the Jai Richardsons about him. I was just sitting there thinking, and I guess being South Australian, he's been seeing a fair bit of Richardson through the club scene and now coming up onto this representative level. I'm sure my mate Laurie Colliver will fill me in a bit more, but yeah, he's got a touch of Richardson's about him.
Kelly finds the block hole, and that's been, well, they're both looking at each other, both batsmen. Clayton said yes or no. It's your call. Good ball there from Corey Kelly, first up to the skipper for the Gilchrist 12. Again from the southern end. Here at Metricon, bathed in sunshine, a slash at the edge of the bat, and that will go to the rope. It's well fielded in the deep there. Prestowich. Unlucky. How do you take those as a keeper? The sails of Metricon, shadows coming in down that fine leg to the left-hander. There is a man on the rope back there. It's Connor Sully. So he's taking the catch. Kenzie just dabs that down to third man, just the one. Got some bat on ball. Brings Clayton on strike, and I think, Bill, it's not rocket science. Give Clayton the strike.
Well, he's certainly been smashing them around a fair bit, and he's 45, just coming off 26 deliveries. He's turned up for a good time today, not a long time.
He's got Metricon, as you do when you come to the Gold Coast. So he's having a look around. There's fine leg inside the circle, as is mid-wicket or wide mid-wicket. Square leg on the rope. Long on, long off. Sweeper at extra cover, and he dabs that almost into the gloves of Sleeman. That's the end of the over. Wicket taking over.
Yeah, it was an interesting shot to try and play. He's, again, looking for that big gap between point and the keeper, but nearly successfully just guiding it into his gloves of the keeper, the big gloves of the keeper, Sleeman. You see another change in bowling.
Interesting.
No, he's going around the wicket. Well, Todd Murphy's coming back on, the captain of the Ponting XI, bringing himself on from the other end now, coming round the wicket. These little off spinners.
It'd be interesting to see the stats on how many runs have been scored from the quicks compared to the slower bowlers of Murphy and Owen. At the moment, Mackenzie Harvey yet to get into his work. Latest batsman to the crease after an 89-run partnership. Good ball. Nothing you can do about that. Harvey.
He's still looking for his sider, just to get himself pick up the pace of the wicket.
Good work with the feet. One, definitely not two there. Just keep turning it over, bring Clayton on strike. So
again, keeping himself around the wicket to Clayton to
brings up the 100. 73 balls, 9 fours and 1 6. So we've got a player at Cow around the wicket. Full toss. It's going to find that man. He'll come in and try and cut it down to just the one. Clayton was keen, but Harvey wasn't. Funny what happens when you lose a wicket, Bill. It just slows it up a little bit.
just a little bit. The impetus taken out of the innings.
Skipper Harvey back on strike to Owen, around the wicket. Not much footwork there, but he squeezes it a point for no run. So it's a good move here from Murphy. Spins the go at the moment. Has he got enough quality spinners to slow this onslaught down from the Ponting 12? Remembering he won the toss and decided to send them into bat. Did Murphy? Would have been in consultation with the coaching staff and teammates. Oh, he stumped or he's almost run out. That's how far down the crease he was. He's on his way, Mackenzie Harvey.
The last ball of the over, he picks up the wicket of Mackenzie Harvey with a nice little off spinner that just beat him for flight. He came down for it and he just played all around it. A nice little bit of stumping work from Sleeman. He had plenty of time to get the bails off because Harvey was a long way down the wicket. And just these last couple of overs have taken the runs off. And a couple of wickets have steadied it up, and that third wicket falls with the score on 100. The end of 13 overs.
Yeah, they got the breakthrough with Corey Kelly dismissing Hearn, and then another quick wicket, and the skipper's back in the shed there, and Mackenzie Harvey. There's no panic times here now for the Gilchrist 12. As Bill Deem said, there's plenty of talent, and it brings the man you've been looking forward to seeing, and Cooper Connolly to the crease.
Yeah.
And Clayton, he's been on 46. He's 45 off 24, I think, Bill. So
yeah.
He's been a little bit stalled.
He hasn't seen a lot of strike.
No.
Harvey's had a fair bit of strike and wasn't able to really get anything going on the scoreboard. Last two overs, we've seen 2 wickets fall and 4 runs.
So Corey Kelly will continue from the southern end here at Metricon. Superstars of the future right here at the Gold Coast, and that's a slap shot down to mid-on. Just the one. That will bring the new batsman in Cooper Connolly on strike.
Talking before about the Ponting 12 winning the toss and young Murphy putting them in. Seems to be the trend now in Big Bash cricket in T20 that if you win the toss, you bowl first. That teams feel that they can chase better than they can set scores. And you'll see that in both the men's and women's WBBL and BBL, that the teams, they like to chase.
Yeah. Corey Kelly's going to come around the wicket now to the new batsman.
And the Brisbane Heat in the WBBL winning the title back-to-back. They were a classic case of a team that batted really well chasing. They always felt they could chase any score that was set.
Yes, they could.
And they did.
Yeah.
Invariably they did, and won the competition doing it that way. And we're seeing it happen in the men's competition as well.
Kelly, and then Connolly gets off the mark and he squeezes to third man. Just the one.
So teams aren't overly worried about what the other team might set first. They just feel confident that they know that they can chase any score, and once they know what a score's set, then they know how they can set up their innings to chase down the target.
And the interesting thing I found about winning the toss was he opened with 2 seamers. Normally we've got a spin bowler at night, it's a bit tricky, but in wet conditions. But swing and a miss there from Clayton. That was going to land on the sky point. And at first it looked like it was working. They 1 for 7, and they got rid of Scott. And 4 of those runs were a French cut, actually, to start the game off. And now this man Corey Kelly's doing a great job at the southern end. He's tightened up and he's given no quarter. Right arm over again, and that's a lovely ball, pitching it up. That allows Murphy and Owen to strike at the other end.
One ball left in this 14th over. And Clayton's starting to feel the pressure of not being able to get runs. He's pretty free earlier in his innings.
Might go for a walk here, does he? Yeah, 1-2. Finds that man at backward point. Another dot ball. Good over there from Corey Kelly. Goes on the back of his first, which got the wicket.
Yeah, 10th over, the Gilchrist XI in the 11th over put on 14 runs, and then since that they've just scored 3-1-3 and lost wickets. And certainly Kelly, and then with Murphy from this end, have just de-accelerated the scoring rate, applied the brake.
We haven't got the overs in front of us. I'm not sure how many more overs Todd Murphy has. This might be his last. Did he bowl 2 from the other end?
Bowl 2 from the other end.
And this is his second from this end. Cooper Connolly. Just the one. Gets off the mark. That brings Clayton on strike against the spinner. Well, they had it up there a second ago, Bill.
Yes,
we weren't quick enough.
This is his 4th over.
4th over. So Clayton's on 47. Been in the 40s for a long time. It took him a minute and a half to get to the 40. He's hit a big 6, and the man's gone to cow corner. Man at mid-wicket, both on the rope. And then the man just inside on the onside at backward square leg. Hits that over the infield. It will find the fieldsman in the deep. They'll turn for 2. Definitely 2 there. Long throw from that western side.
Yeah, boundary's fairly big here at Metricon. I thought they might have had him a little bit smaller. About the size that they had for the Marsh Cup match that was played here a couple of months ago between the Bulls and the Warriors.
Around the wicket now, Murphy right in the block hole here. They squeeze it out for one. They're going to try and go for two. Well, almost the knock on there in the deep, I think, from Connor Sully, but it was finally tied up in the end.
Yeah, but
Clayton brings up his 50 off 34 balls.
You always obey that rule, is you never run on a misfield. But yeah, brings up his 50. Good batting by the Queenslander.
4 fours and a 6. Strike rate of 147. It's a lovely shot through extra cover. It's the one from... If Clayton's there at the end of the 20 overs, you're looking at 150. Earlier, 150 was a shoo-in.
Yep. Well,
a bit tricky now.
They turned at the halfway mark at 82, thinking that 160 would be what they would get. So with 9 wickets in the sheds, Brian will be looking to try and sweep if he can. Does.
Oh,
dropped.
Straight in the hands. It was at his face there. I think that might have been Connor Sully. It was right at his face. Regulation catch.
Didn't have to move. It was hit straight to him. Maybe just jumped up a little bit, but got both hands to it. Should have taken that catch.
Murphy continues. Mitchell Owen there fielding at extra cover and no run. So at the end of what could have been a wicket taking over, but that is the end of Murphy's spell.
3 for 109 at the 15th over.
Corey Kelly's going to be replaced at the southern end by Connor Sully. So Murphy, 4 overs, 1 for 23. And now Sully, he's bowled 2 overs, none for 10. Simpson, 2 overs, 1 for 10, the 2 opening bowlers. Corey Kelly, 1 for 12 from his 3. Yeah, interesting. He's the man of the moment at the moment. Keep him for the last over, perhaps. Sully, this time from the southern end. That's going down the throat of the bat. The man at deep backward square leg, and that's out.
And Brian's not happy with himself there. He just rocked onto the back foot and just pulled that around, but in the air the whole way. It just became catching practice for the fielder out there at backward square leg.
Yeah, straight down his throat. That might have been Hugo Burden, who was out there before, who tried to dive forward for a great catch.
And Clayton's innings of 51 comes to an end.
Does the opportunity of 150 being reached come to an end as well? The new batsman out who's... Your beauty hasn't got a number on his back. Well, you mentioned, we were talking about how numbers were being put on the back of the shirts of the test players, and thought it was a great idea until somebody puts a jumper on and you can't see it. So wait for the scoreboard to give us an idea. So 3 for 109 at the end of 15 overs. Conley still there on 3. Batsman did cross, so Connolly will take guard. To Sully, gets the breakthrough. That's down leg side and a wide. Good catch in the end. So mid off, extra cover, man at cover on the fence. Backward point inside the rope, third man. So he just needs to get it on that offside. 4 men on the onside, but only 1 inside the circle. And he tries to glide that down to third man.
Yeah, we saw young Sully in his opening spell get a fair bit of pace. Troubled the batsman. He really squared up young Lockie Hearn and nearly took Hearn's head off with a nice little bouncer. So the young Connolly played the under-17 national championships and then the under-19 championships, and now been selected in the World Cup squad for the Australians under-19s.
Pulls that one to on the grass, just the one. Thinking about it, he's almost out of his ground here as Rowe goes back in. So Rowe will face his first ball of his innings. Good comeback here from the Gilchrist 12. Bill, they were.
Yeah, the game was getting away from him, and 160 was well on track, if not more. But these last few overs, they've stemmed the scoring rate, taken some wickets.
Sully again from the southern end. Windy conditions. Quick single, finds a man at point, just the one. Filled there by Hugo Burden. Yeah, it was getting scary, but they've only lost four for 111. Murphy came in and just put the screws on, as did Corey Kelly. Clayton and Mackenzie Harvey, that partnership was slow. Sully again with 2 balls left in his spell. Quick single again, so they're just happy to work it around. Brings Rowe back on strike. So Connolly on 5. He's 8 balls. That's when Harvey was he stumped or run out, Bill?
Stumped.
Stumped. It's a long way down, wasn't he? That was good bowling there from Murphy. So Rowe wants to give the umpire a gift.
Lost himself a sprig.
Yeah. Three inside the circle on the offside, so skipper Murphy trying to suffocate any more runs here from the Ponting 12. That's glided down to third man, but it'll only be a single. Mitchell Owen fires that one in over the gloves. The end of the over, the end of the 16th over. 4 for 113.
Yeah, they've really tightened up the scoring in these last few overs. Last 6 overs, they've only been able to add 17 runs.
So the opening bowler, Bradley Simpson, returns, but this time from the northern end. He opened with Sully. We bowl to the new batsman in Rowe, the right-hander. Run rate at the moment just over 7. And I feel the outfield's a lot quicker than it was at 1 o'clock, Bill. So
yeah, I think the Ponting 11 will fancy their chances of chasing that down.
So Bradley Simpson from the northern end. Right arm over, short ball, that's been whipped down to the man mid-wicket, and he's dropped it and it's gone for 6. It's come off his hands and gone for 6, and I think it might be Corey Kelly.
Yeah, he came running in on that one, ran in probably too far. If he'd stayed where he was, it would have come at a nice height around chest or weight, but he ran in, then got too far in, which meant that it was above his head and just more or less bumped it over the top of the rope for 6.
Like a goalkeeper.
If he hadn't have caught it, it would have been 4. If he'd stayed where he was, he would have definitely caught it.
So Simpson comes in again. They got 2 from that. Finds backward point, another quick single, nicely run. Yeah, I don't think there's any wind or any sun that he just misjudged it.
He just misjudged it, came running, rushed into it when he saw it was in the air. Where it should have stayed where he was. I think just the adrenaline rush of suddenly thinking, up, this is my catch.
Yeah. So a bit of a
Captain
chat,
Murphy
yeah.
having a chat with his bowler, just getting the field set. Little left-handed Connolly.
Takes them up to 120. Full faces back. Kelly comes in from the deep. They take him on. No. Sent back. Oh, direct hit. And I think Connolly might have been in strife.
Yeah. He was pretty keen to go for it.
Yeah, the call in between wickets between these last 3 or 4 batsmen hasn't been the greatest. A couple of times they've had a chat to each other halfway down. Brings Rowe on strike to the right-hander. Steady for Rowe, 9 from 4. Strain on the legs there, but he whips it to mid on for just the 1.
And that's a good point you made, John, about the calling and the advantage of games like this that Chris Rogers and Ryan Harris, the coaches of the under-19 side, will see is that you get your calling right by being out in the centre wicket. It's hard to practice calling and running in batting partners in the nets. It's only playing games where you start to sort out those batting and pair relationships.
Just the 1 to point again, so not getting the boundaries, but it's been good bowling here from Bradley Simpson. Be disappointed he didn't have a wicket.
Well, it knocked his figures around. Went from having a wicket to getting 6 instead.
It's a cruel and funny game. So Murphy and himself. Simpson having a chat. He wants to bring mid-off up, I should say, but not dropping anybody else back. Oh, just slower ball. The end of the over. 4 for 123 after 17.
10 runs coming off that over. Could have been 4 and a wicket. We'll just keep reminding the respective families.
Yeah. You reckon? So Gilly and Punter would surely be having a wager. Mightn't be monetary, but it'd be something.
There'll be a bit of banter going between the pair of them over this game.
They're not
This is
sitting
the
next to each other. It'd be via text.
This is the third one of these matches being played over the last 4 years.
Is it one apiece, or does somebody have the upper hand?
I can't remember.
Yeah.
Corey Kelly, of course, they're different teams each year,
Yeah.
so
Corey Kelly will come back into the attack. Right arm around the wicket. Connolly waits for him. Slash that over extra cover. That's going to bounce. Just the 1.
I did watch the last one 2 years ago, and some of the talent that was on show. As I said, Austin Wall was part of that. Maxie Bryant, that you now see in the Brisbane Heat side. Xavier Bartlett opened the bowling, who's played for Queensland now. Jason Sanger was the captain of that Australian under-19 side. Will Sutherland, another one whose dad at the time was the CEO of Cricket Australia, who's gone on to play a bit of Shield cricket now for the Victorians.
Corey Kelly. His last over, he has 1 for 13. Oh, that's nicely taken.
Yeah, really,
Rowe has a look at the square leg umpire.
he reached for that one, but wasn't good enough to get the edge. We've seen the keeper, Zach Sleeman, the Victorian, take a nice little stumping earlier on. So he's been pretty tidy behind the stumps.
So now 2 go back. No, only 1 goes back, fine leg. Umpire stops Corey Kelly from coming in. Foolish ball. Mid on. Think about two. It's a long throw, and it's going to be a good one, but not good enough.
Big dive by Connolly to get himself in. I think halfway down he's going, up, I'm in trouble. Launches himself.
I think he started diving halfway down.
You see the throw come in. It was a nice throw right over the top of the stumps and literally just dived from about 10 metres out.
Direct hit. It's scary times. Over the wicket now. Corey Kelly. That's gone straight down the ground. There's a chance for two players to come in on this one. It's going to land right between both of them. And unfortunately, both batsmen were ball watching. Only get the one.
Yeah, I think they learnt off the previous one. The fielder out there is pretty quick and pretty strong on his throw. And as you said, mixed in with a bit of ball watching.
Around the wicket now to the left-hander. Connolly. Right in the block hole, goes straight down the ground. He'll find mid-off coming around. They'll turn for two. Rowe will make it easy. Well, they might get to 150 yet.
129 late into the 18th over.
Last ball from Kelly. Goes for a walk, smashes it down through mid-off, and that's 4 run. That's the fastest the ball's gone to the fence down that end of Metricon.
And a nice little end to the over for young Cooper Connolly.
Yeah, Corey Kelly didn't deserve that. He's bowled very, very well. The end of
10 runs in the end off that over. 4 for 133. And Simpson will bowl the penultimate over. It's a chance for, again, coaches of the team to start to work out who are the good closing bowlers, closing the innings out.
Simpson has 1 for 20 from his 3. Comes in from the northern end. Here at Metricon. Short ball. Rolls his wrists on that one and just to single out Kelly in the deep. And give him a second chance this time.
Brings the left-hander on strike. Saw that he really dug the ball into the wicket. Then, if you keep the same thing to the young Western Australian.
2 men right on the rope, mid-on and mid-off. He's been going there a little bit, as Connolly. See how he goes this time. Smashes it, finds the man a deep mid-off. They think about 2 turning, and yes, the call's good, and so is the run.
Good work. Young Rowe decided right at the start he was going to get 2 on that one. He was always running to the danger end, so it was his decision, and it had to be his work right at the very start to get himself back. Did it quite easily in the end.
Yeah, puts Mitchell Owen under pressure, and he was up to the task, but he got out of the blocks early, Ray. Does he do it again? Full toss. Finds extra cover, just the one.
Putting himself back deep in the crease to give himself just those extra options. We'll see what young Simpson does to the right-handed Rowe. Brings his fine leg back up into the circle. Got a lot of protection on the rope in front of the wicket, from mid-wicket right around to cover.
4th ball from Simpson. Last over. Big hoik. Wow, it's not the first time we've seen the French cut. First ball, the match delivered one, and here's another.
I've often said you can't set a field for the French cut. Underrated shot. We don't see enough of it.
It is in the
T20
playbook.
match.
Somewhere.
They'll practice their ramp shots and all their other dinky shots, but no one ever practices the French cut. But it has scored more boundaries probably than any other shot. Pro rata. And of course,
Exactly, yeah. Not very often it doesn't go for 4.
fine leg up was only ever going to be 4.
Simpson again. Full ball, that's gone high in the air. There's a chance at extra cover, and the catch has been taken nicely. And Jaden Goodwin takes the catch.
Brings the end to young Rowe's innings of 18 off 11 deliveries.
Well, he had to go for it. It's the second last over. 8 balls remaining. Went for it, but high in the air. Full toss. How often do you get out in a full toss? Balancing himself nicely.
Nice textbook catch as well. We've seen the Ponting XI put down a couple of catches in their innings. Give a few more fielding drills done over the next couple of days before they head off to South Africa for the World Cup.
Brings Will Sanders to the crease. Another player from the University of Queensland Cricket Club, replacing Rose. 18 off 12. 5 for 141, second last over. 7 balls remaining. Well done to Bradley Simpson. He's bowled quite well. Remembering 8 of his 4 runs coming from a French cut, and also for Sully at the other end, the first ball of the game, right arm over. Wow, found some timber there. Now Sanders is wearing the number 7. Patrick Rowe wearing number 6. Taking the jumper off.
5 for 141 at the end of the 19th over. And we're going to see young Sully bowl the final over. Thought that they might have kept young Corey Kelly going for it, but gone back to their other opening bowler.
5 for 142. Last over. Connor Sully from Queensland. Cooper Connolly from Western Australia taking guard. The other end is Patrick Rowe from Victoria Country. Sully from the southern end here at Metricon. High in the air now.
Fielder
Mid-wicket,
underneath it.
yep. Should take it easily. Takes it in front of his face, and he makes the breakthrough. His first ball, Connor Sully.
Young Connolly dismissed, got it right underneath it, but well underneath it.
Might be the skipper, Todd Murphy.
And his innings of 18 off 15 deliveries comes to an end. Nice little innings there by the young West Australian. And if you want to keep the scoring rate down, the best way to do it is to take wickets. He takes the walk off the centre of Metricon Stadium back to the dressing rooms, but he should be pretty proud with his efforts today. Tanveer Sangha comes out.
He's running out. So he joins. So we've got 2 new batsmen at the crease, Will Sanders and Tanveer Sangha. They cross, so he'll go to the non-strikers end. So Connor Sully and Bradley Simpson, the 2 opening bowlers, doing a great job at the back end of this innings from Gilchrist XI, who was sent in by Todd Murphy. Sanders tries to glide that into the gloves of Sleeman. Seen it so many times. Playing him at 6 for 142. 150 surely is the goal. Five men in the deep. Third man cover. Mid-on, mid-wicket and fine leg. Plenty of runs on the onside. Sully again, and that's... Well, he looked for a wide, but he didn't use his feet at all, did he?
No,
Sanders.
he's just jumping himself back into the crease, trying to play off the back foot.
Tanvir Singh has come down and said, look, mate, just get a single. I'll take it from there.
Just get bat on ball.
3 balls remaining. Sully again. Short ball. Whips that to the man at square leg, and it'll only be the single. That'll bring Sanger on strike.
You've seen a few batters in the BBL now start to do that technique of going back deep into the crease to use it to try and either get underneath the ball and play it straight down the ground, or they're back ready for the one that's pitched short and slow, and that they can pull it or cut it. But the bowlers can be up to it if they go wide, because it does make it a bit harder when the bowlers bowl full and wide of the off stump.
2 balls still remaining. Sully tries with the ram shot. Doesn't get anything on that. And that's a dot ball in the last over.
Been a good tight over from young Sully. Picked up a wicket right at the start.
Just the one from it. It's the last ball of the innings. Sully 2 for 15 off 3.5 overs. Sanger, can he make a mess of those figures?
Just got to get some bat onto some of the ball.
Goes for a hoik, finds backward point. They'll just take the single, and that will be the end of the innings. 6 for 144. That's the total there for the Gilchrist 12 after being sent into the bat. And Bill, well, the big partnership at the beginning. I thought we were going to look at 160 plus, but well done in the end there to the Ponting 11 to reduce it to 144.
No, they've done a very good job. If we go back through the scorecard of the Ponting of the Gilchrist 11, we saw Liam Scott out at the start, caught Pressridge off the bowling of Simpson for 7, then Lockie Hearn took a while to get going, but finished with 38 off 35 deliveries. Max Clayton, nice little innings of 51 from 36, got bogged down towards the end of that. Mackenzie Harvey just 4 off 8. Cooper Connolly 18 from 17 deliveries, nice little cameo at the end. Patrick Rowe also 18 off 12. And then Sanders and Sanger finishing 1 not out each at the end. Quick look at the bowling figures, and wickets shared amongst Simpson with 2 for 29 off his 4. Corey Kelly 1 for 22. Todd Murphy 1 for 23 off his 4 overs. And Mitchell Owen and Will Pressridge not troubling the scorers in the wicket-taking area. And Sully finishing with 2 for 17 off his 4 overs.
Yep, 6 for 145, 146 required by the Ponting at 11. We'll be back here in about 10 minutes' time for the resumption of play. Metricon Stadium here between the Gilchrist 12 and the Ponting 12. Stay tuned. This is going to go right down to the wire.
And welcome back to Metricon Stadium for this afternoon's post-Boxing Day match, the day after Boxing Day, whatever we want to call that day. Ponting 11 versus the Gilchrist XI T20 match, the warm-up for the Australian Under-19 World Cup squad. It's Billy Dean with you this afternoon. John Devine in glorious Gold Coast weather, handful of minutes away from surface paradise, but we've seen some great talent already, John, in the opening innings. Ponting 11 won the toss and bowled first, and some great little batting by the Gilchrist 11.
Yeah, most certainly. Yes, it's a lovely day. Good afternoon, everybody. Yes, it was a long drive down here. The traffic was terrible. I managed to rotate my tyres. That's how bad the traffic was on the way down here. But it's been well worth it. A big partnership in the early stages of that game. Probably 89-run partnership between Clayton and Hearn. But they fought back nicely, didn't they, the Gilchrist 11, and led by their skipper in Todd Murphy, the way he bowled, but he had to after sending the opposition into bat. And as you said, Billy Dean, in the first innings, it seems to be the trend these days. Can they run it down? Well, it's important that they get away to a flyer, as they did in the first innings by the Gilchrist 12. So, yeah, it'll be a good chase. One over can change the game. We're going to get Liam Marshall from New South Wales Metros to open the bowling here from the northern end here at Metricon. The shadows just starting to come in from the sails here. For those of you here on the Gold Coast who know Metricon, which is at your bottom right of screen.
Yeah, Liam Marshall's going to open the bowling. The opening the batting for the Ponting 11, Sam Fanning wearing number 1, and Mitchell Owen, the Tasmanian, with number 6 on his back. Fanning will be facing first. No, sorry. Owen will be facing first.
So the power play we're waiting. The umpires from square leg is coming over. I think he's waiting for the scorers, but we've got 3 players milling around with the bowlers. Square leg umpires. Something needs to be moved, I think, for the batsman who's at the...
Maybe the cameraman.
He might
the
know
cameraman's standing behind, and there's also a person lying on the ground, straight behind the bowler.
No, anyway, square leg umpire is going back to his position. Matt Willens goes back to mid-off, and away we go. First ball, and that one's going to go down leg side, and it's a wide. Whereas in contrast, the first ball of the innings of the match was a lovely French cut for 4. So a loosener, which you're probably entitled to only 1 in the T20 format.
Pretty standard field with everyone in the circle. The only 2 outsider, a third man and a point on the boundary already. Square leg.
Right arm over. Just got a quick action. Finds the middle of the bat. Finds Willens. He's got some wheels. Just Liam Marshall from New South Wales Metro.
Picked up plenty of wickets through the under-19 championships as well, helping New South Wales to their victory. Between him and his bowling and young Lockie Hearn with his batting.
Turns a little long run up. And there, short ball, ducks underneath it. Didn't have any idea. That's a wide ball down the leg side. I don't think it was over shoulder height, but he had no idea where that was. He thought about playing the hook shot and then pulled out and then almost got his helmet in the way. I think that man, as you mentioned, Bill, at square leg on the rope, who isn't all the way on the boundary, made him pull out that shot. Finds fine leg for a single. We've already seen one catch put down in the mid-wicket region for a fieldsman who ran in too far. And he gets off the mark, so none for 3, and that brings Fanning on strike. So again, left and right-handed combination. I wonder if you're left-handed, you get automatically selected to open if there's a right-hander. but I'm left-handed. Oh, okay, you can open. Interesting tactic where the batting orders change. Fanning gets that one on his pads and he finds deep backward square leg and just the one. It seems to be the way, doesn't it, Bill? You've got to have that left and right hand. Even though you mightn't open the batting normally.
Well, particularly in T20 matches, there's a lot of science now put into having your batters bat at key times, and then the bowlers then work out who do they bowl. Do they bowl to the left-hander or to the right-hander?
Oh, that one's again down leg side.
And that you pick your bowlers to bowl from certain ends. Here, the wicket at Metricon Stadium is dead centre, pretty much in the stadium, so there's no short boundary to protect with some bowlers. But they'll often pick the end on which to start from to work out which over they want to finish. So, in fact, they start working backwards from over 20.
Marshall again. This one's been smacked straight to the fieldsman at mid-on.
So the captain and coach would sit and go, well, we want to bowl the last over from this end, so that means we need to bowl the first over from this end. And they start constructing their bowling innings backwards from over 20 back to number 1 to determine who bowls from which end and which side.
Liam Marshall again. Misjoined there in his run up there. Slower ball to get his radar right, but they take a good quick single. Nicely run there by Owen. Well, it's interesting you say that about the middle of the pitch there. I know interviewing, and you would be well aware of this, the skill of the captaincy of the Brisbane Heat women's in Kirby Short. She looks at the dimensions of the field, where put her players with worse, shorter arms in the shorter boundaries. She bowls bowlers to a field. If there's a short boundaries, we know the Gabba does have. Another quick single here. Has to be quick. He's on his heels. That was out.
He'd given up himself halfway down. He knew there was no chance of getting in, Owen, and was just happy to run and hope that it would miss. And it did, so he lives to bat another over.
He didn't want that run at all. He thought, well, I'll go. Let's hope he misses, and he did.
But you're right on the fielding. You tend to, in T20 matches, have your worse fields. So my English teacher will be on the phone. But your worst fielders at what they call 45. So 45 off the batsman. So like at a third slip or a short fine leg. So often the Brisbane Heat, in example, you see Chris Lynn field at that short third man because he's got no arm to throw. No. And so he becomes the poorer fielder. And they'll field at what they call that 45 position at short fine leg, short third man. And then the better fielders will often be in the covers in the mid-wicket.
So Cameron McClure will start from the southern end, and already he's my favourite player. He's got the long hair, the mullet, the headband. He looks like Ciro. And he's going to bowl from the southern end. So to the left-hander, waiting for him is Sam Fanning. One slip. There's some serious wheels as well. Finds third man. Yeah, get down the other end and be glad with that. He's a big unit, isn't he? The Cameron McClure from Victoria Country. Got the short sleeve and compression bandages on both arms.
Yeah, certainly when he grows up, fills out a bit. Again, these boys are only 18, 17, 18, just about to turn 19, so a lot of growing still to happen in their bodies.
Got first slip right next to almost the same level as the wicket keeper, and that's down leg side, and that'll be a wide. You see Mackenzie Harvey right next to the keeper Patrick Rowe. A lot of depth to first slip, but anyway, he makes his way down to the southern end, Cameron McClure. 6 for 145 from the Gilchrist side. Short ball gets the toe of the bat here and presence of mind. Good work there from the non-striker to call through for the the single there by Sam Fanning. Because I don't think Owen knew any idea where that ball was.
No, he sort of threw his shot and the ball sort of came off his bat onto his body.
Just testing out if there's any bounce there as McClure. So one slip and third man, backward point. Foolish ball, and that's going to go straight to point and throw at the stumps, but he's made his ground. He's got some pace and he's a big man, as McClure. He just needs to find his line. Big bash game here this evening. So, no doubt both squads will be looking at this pitch, and I can tell you there's absolutely nothing in it. McClure, fast run to the pitch here, and he almost gets an edge, does he? The peel out. McClure makes the breakthrough. Sam Fanning's on his way, and the big unit strikes. They lose their first wicket.
Yeah, young Fanning wasn't giving himself away. He knew he'd hit that, and he was looking anywhere but at the umpire. Just sort of got himself inside the ball to try and guide it more than do anything with it. Bit of a nothing shot outside of I just want to get out. And the young Western Australian doesn't really trouble the scorers too much today. The first wicket falls with the score on 10 in the second over.
Yeah, he was. I don't know where he's guiding it to, because he does have a first slip.
And it was pretty close to the body, and he sort of tried to arch his body around and try and get the bat back in. And
well, one thing I'm going to miss about that partnership being broken is their running between wickets has been outstanding. So you'll have a new partner now with Sam Fanning, and it looks like it's Hugo Burden, is it? From Queensland?
Hugo Burden, the Queenslander.
So he makes a breakthrough. Good bowling there from Cameron McClure. I just suggested he needed to get his line right, and he did. He's helped by a shot that shouldn't have really been played, especially not in the power play. Throw the hands hard rather than try and guide. You see fine leg drop back onto the rope. 2 slips now, Bill.
They brought in the second slip. Young Queenslander had a good under-19 carnival with a couple of half-centuries through it.
Burden whips that off the pads, and it's going to take some work to rein that one in, and he does so, and it's going to come back for the second. Cooper Connolly fires that one in.
You're talking about this wicket and the later match tonight, the BBL. They call it a neutral wicket. There's nothing in it for the batters, nothing in it for the bowlers. It's not going to determine the match. The match will be determined by good bowling, good batting, good fielding.
I think earlier it was a little bit slow, but I think it's now
dried out a bit.
McClure again finds the middle of the bat there.
Well, the covers were kept on fairly late, up to maybe 45 minutes before play started. The big covers were still on it, because the groundsmen were just a bit concerned with some of the early morning showers that had been around. So it hasn't had a lot of sun on it before play started to dry it out a little bit, but it's had that now, and they're all set. And we're going to see the big Queenslander Matthew Willens come on.
Yeah, the big left armour. So at the end of 2 overs, 1 for 12.
This guy's about 8'12".
He's a big unit, is Matt Willens. I think he's got 20 wickets in first grade for University of Queensland. Left arm, genuine quick. University of Queensland blessed with 2 of the very good left arm bowls. Scott Walter 1, and near in the end of his career, and then you got Matt Willens here at the start of his. Again, great to have a left arm option as a quick, as we see what Mitchell Stark can do for the Australian side. So he's bringing fine leg up inside the rope and drop third man back. Is he the only one out? Oh no, square leg. So Willens left arm over from the northern end. Well, that's played. Is that a leg? Is that a French cut there, sort of, Bill?
There's no ball. Gives him the free hit, so it came off the bat.
And the foot. So this is the first no ball of the match. Matt Willens, first ball of his hit.
The free hit doesn't mean much. They can change the field because the batter's changed. Just limits the dismissal opportunities.
So he's dropping extra cover back, bringing third man up. And, wow, square leg up as well, but dropping mid off straight back.
He's going to be pitching this one wide outside the off stump.
Sure whether Matt Willens has got a slower ball. He might need it here. He comes in again, and that is a slower ball. That's in the air, but it's going to be falling short. Just the one run. They're going to turn for two and easily make it for two. So comes away with reasonably unscathed with just the 3 runs off that ball. 2 run and obviously the sundry. Didn't get all of that either, but I think it was a slower ball.
The field resets with square leg going back.
So Willens with a little bit of a hiccup. Comes back in again. Well and truly. There's a chance. Great catch at point. Reels in an absolute beauty. And there is the breakthrough for Matt Willens. What a screamer, Billy Dean.
Certainly was. Hugo Burton just played it just straight to the fielder there at point. Didn't have to do any work except dive a bit to his right to take a great catch. It was guided more than hit. Still has to be caught looking into the sun. And the Queenslander gets his fellow Queenslander out. And Willens has had a bit of everything in his first couple of deliveries, from a first ball no ball to a free hit off the second ball to a wicket off the third.
It's a funny game, Bill. So the men in the canary yellow break apart and get ready to have another crack with Matt Willens.
They pick up their second wicket in the innings, chasing 145 for victory. 2 for 12.
We get the name of the fieldsman there. Well, you might just turn around if he's still there. He is with the blue cap, number 2, and that would be
young Liam Scott.
He was in second slip here when Cameron McClure was bowling from the southern end. But anyway, new batsman to the crease.
Tom Kelly
batting 1 foot on the crease. Willens 2 for 16. That's that one shoulder's arm, doesn't come off the elbow. Is that one of the more bizarre inning dismissals you've seen, Billy Dean? Manus yesterday?
Yesterday?
Yeah,
Well,
I don't think I've ever seen it come off on the elbow.
No, I haven't. I haven't seen it funny bone onto the onto the stumps, and he was anything but funny when he was dismissed. He was pretty upset.
He was livid. I think Damien Fleming.
He was he pretty much was letting the ball go, and yet it bounced up high enough off the wicket.
Damien Fleming said he hit the chewy right in the middle when he spat it out. Willens comes in again, left arm over, and that one, there's a genuine edge down to third man. And we'll just go through for a single, and he gets off the mark there. There's Kelly.
He certainly did give the chewy a fair bit of a hit with the bat, which made me wonder which of the Kiwis was then going to stand in it and get it stuck on the bottom of their boot.
I wonder about that. None of a chewy that spat out or hit into the ground, and somebody gets it in their sprig. Who's got to dig that out? I bet the umpire's not keen. Willens still yet to finish this over. He has 1 for 5. Well, those are no ball. He got 2 off that. So there's an extra cover that's encroaching 20 metres from the bat, and that's that man there.
They've got him in nice and close.
Yeah, I've often wondered about that. Matt Willens Whelan's not a man who's in any great hurry to get back to his mark.
No.
A la Scott Walter. But 2 for 17. We still are in the power play. Whelan's again pushes in from the northern end. Smacked. That's going to beat wide mid off, and that'll go all the way to the fence, and that's 4. And, well, it's not the first boundary of the match because we've had the French cut. It's the end of Whelan's wicket, taking no ball over. I don't know whether he got a bit of encouragement there from Patrick Rowe, well bowled, or have a break. Rowe not the skipper. And McClure will continue.
Yeah, a couple of big boys bowling for the Ponting, for the Gilchrist 11, sorry. Ready, 2 wickets down, 2 for 21 off 3. 1 for 15, the Gilchrist 11 after 3 overs.
So McClure. Southern end, he's got extra cover as close as well. It's a good spot, that. McClure again, that's found the pads. Whipped to fine leg for 1. If he didn't get any bat on it, would have been a run anyway, but an extra ball. The batsman out so far. Fanning Court Rowe bowled McClure for 3. And then Burden, a great catch by Scott and point. The last batsman out. So they lost 2 wickets in this power play. They won't want to lose a third. And he's got a third! What a catch there at point! Oh, he's flown through the air. A super catch there by
Liam Scott
again, yeah.
He'll be taking that highlight reel straight to home tonight, sending that around his mates. He just literally flew up through the air and pulled it down like he was catching the ball at the MCG, not Metricon.
That was hooting. That was a great grab.
It certainly was.
And that brings the 3rd wicket now to the Ponting batting lineup.
And young Mitchell Owens thinking, I really gave that everything.
I deserve 4 for that.
Well, that was. I was looking myself down towards the rope for that dismissal, but it just hooked it in well above his head. Just flew high. It's like we were here in March, April watching the Gold Coast Suns at Metricon. Pulling it in off the half-forward flank.
Brings another left-hander to the crease.
The 3rd wicket down. Score on 21.
Jaden Goodwin. Well, they got a... Well, I don't know how you can actually consolidate in a power play. You know, McClure. He's got 2. Looking for a 3rd. Comes in. Genuine thick edge. Down to fine leg, square leg, 3rd man. I should say I'll go through all the positions in a second. Single.
Yeah, certainly making hard work of it, the Ponting 11. Talked earlier today that teams like to chase. Not sure part of their chase plan was to lose 3 wickets on 4 overs.
Well, albeit 2 absolute screaming catches from Liam Scott. McClure again comes in. There's a short ball and he whips it down to fine leg. And they'll come back for 2. So McClure just a little bit short. Real damage done.
Those following the test match, Travis Head's just been dismissed for 114. Australia 8 for a lot at the moment.
Yeah, they might have been teeing off to set a total and Go for a declaration, perhaps. McClure again sets sail from the south. Full ball. I'll go through for a single as mid-off takes that.
They've still got that short cover in there, haven't they?
Yeah, it's just that little spot, the little indecision whether to go yes or no for a run. If he gets a hand on it, it can be deflected towards the bowler. You just got to wait until it's past him. Then it's too late because it's gone to the fieldsman behind him.
It's what I used to call the Ricky Ponting position. Punter made an art form of standing there and running out.
He did.
Plenty of players. And again, the cover mid-wicket is where you put your better throwers, your better catchers are at the mid-on, mid-offs. And your poor fielders, as I said, are at short fine leg, short third man.
So McClure coming around the wicket to the left hand. There's another one.
Deliberately played French cut between his legs.
Didn't play quite so well. He only got a single for that, and he maintains the strike. So that's the end of the fourth over. 3 for 27. Run rate required is 7.5, and at the moment it's 6 3/4.
So it's been a good start by the Gilchrist XI in picking up 3 wickets in those 4 overs. And while the Ponting XI's 27 runs are ahead of the 21 runs at the same mark, it's the 3 wickets that are going to be the cause of the problem. Gilchrist XI kept their wickets intact and didn't lose their second wicket till late into the 12th over.
Yeah, 96 I think it was. Anyway, Liam Marshall's been brought back into the attack here from the northern end. Full ball, and it finds that man, and it's well run there. And that was a good call from Goodwin. He had to run to the danger end, and he also had to make sure the ball had got past that extra cover fieldsman. That might be the only way they can resurrect this innings, Bill, is just quick singles, even though it is a power play.
Kelly on strike.
Goes for a bit of a dance and gets over the man at mid-on. 1 bounce, 4 runs.
Yeah,
That's another way.
It was an interesting shot in that didn't follow through with it, but got the whole bat face to it and just helped it over the head of the fieldsman. Fair bit of pace being generated by the bowler. Just using the bowler's pace.
Yeah, you're right. I thought that was almost, for a split second, was going to go down the throat of Lachlan Hearn, but he got enough on it. It was the pace of the bowler, as you said, and as he comes again right arm over, and that's going down leg side. Now it might be 4 wides. And it has come off the bat. It has come off the bat.
Yeah.
Wow. Must have
Yeah,
got enough on there.
I was ready to give it as wide.
That's the finest of glances you'll ever see.
So the 2 people happy with that will be the batter getting the 4 runs to their score and the keeper not getting the 4 against their buys.
Well, that was a chance, Bill.
I think it bounced before the keeper. Steps
High
down.
in the air. Mid-wicket coming around. This is Hearn, and it's going to fall short of him. And they took the 1, did they?
They did. They could have got 2 before it landed. It went up that high.
Exactly.
But again, the batter's not running hard enough. So ball watching or thinking that it was probably going to be caught. But it went up at an incredible height. We're not quite under the flight path of the Gold Coast Airport, but...
Well, I would have thought Liam Scott was one of those fieldsmen. He would have dived and caught that one. This is going to find the orthodox cover, no run.
But yeah, certainly with an over and a bit of the power play left, the Ponting 11 or 12 have got to really go after it and try and get as many runs as possible and keep their wickets at the same time.
I think straight is the way to go. There's no movement or swing. Just hit through the ball. If you hit it straight, you're going to go for a quick single. There's nobody back in the deep. Straight to the wicket. That's the end of the End of the over, the end of the fifth over, 3 for 39.
We've certainly seen all pace so far by the Gilchrist XI. I don't blame them with some of the tall timber that they've got in their side.
Well, look, it's like a bowling change from the southern end, I think. Cameron McClure is going to be given a break.
We're going to bring on some spin.
Will Bowering, is it?
Yeah, Will Bowering.
The only one of two South Australians in the Gilchrist 12. The other one, the super fieldsman in Liam Scott.
Going to bowl to his fellow South Australian at the moment. To start off his innings, Tom Kelly.
I'm not sure whether Ricky Ponting will be only one Tasmanian in both sides. So 4 inside the circle at cover. Look at them. They're all 10 metres apart. Just on the circle, we've got a backward point.
They obviously think that they're a chance of getting something from the young leg spinner.
Comes out of his crease and he's going to find a long off. Just the one. Would have liked to have seen long off stay up inside the circle too. I think they got the foot on the throat here of the Ponting 12. And now we'll see for the left-hander a similar field, mid-off, right on the rope. Mid-on just inside, square leg, fine legs inside, and we've got a man at deep mid-wicket. He wants him to go straighter, and probably needs to go right on the rope. Comes out of his crease and he gets a hand on there. Does the bowler and Bowering, just a single still. And again, the field has to change. Left-right handed combination here for the Ponting 12. Lovely shot through extra cover. I hope that goes to the boundary because it deserves it. What a beautiful shot. 4 to the total. Probably the shot of the day.
Yeah, we'll certainly we'll see the replay again, so we'll get to enjoy it.
Oh. Call me old-fashioned, but there's nothing better than a cover drive. What a beauty there. Field remains the same. Good captaincy. Can't beat a good shot. And he uses his feet this time. Bowering does his own fielding, and that's Kelly again. Just works it for a single and gets to hang on to the strike. So the end of the 6th over, 3 for 46. End of the power play, Bill. Still another 100 runs required.
So when we started to see, though, a bit of acceleration from the Gilchrist 11, they were 1 for 44 off 6.
Wow.
So we're going to see spin continue. Tanveer Sanger, South Wales spinner's going to come on from this northern end. No real advantage in whichever end you bowl you spin from here, with the wicket being right in the centre of Metricon Stadium. Wind not making that big a deal. It is a sea breeze, obviously, this time of the afternoon, which will come in from your left to right as you watch the screen.
The key here to the Ponting 12 is this man Kelly. He can stay there. I'm loving what he's using with his feet. He goes forward, then back, just pushes it forward and has to do his own fielding, Sanger the bowler. think that's what they need to do, just keep turning the strike over and giving Kelly as many opportunities as he can. How he changes his game plan now the power play's over is up to him. Goodwin comes out of his crease and he smacks that over mid-off, and that will go for 4. Good work of the feet.
He came down to the pitch of the ball, put it over the infield. They're all up on the offside to him outside of a sweeper out on cover. Now he's going to put his mid-off back onto the rope.
Well, here I am praising the dance move of Kelly. Goodwin makes that out to extra cover for 1.
It was good game awareness to know that the field was up and that there was plenty of space in the air for him to use and go over their heads. And a good bit of footwork as well. See what Sanger can do this time to Kelly.
Kelly just pulls that along the grass just for 1. He's turning over the strike, turning over the scoreboard. 3 for 53. Halfway through the 7th over. Sanger again from the northern end. That's a lower ball, and he just square drives that. Coming back for a second, testing out the arm. Well run.
That was excellent bit of fielding. The fielder out there just a little slow to get to it and to get it in. And took advantage of it. Goodwin to get himself back for that second.
That was all Goodwin's doing. I think he wanted 2 from the start. Just the 1 out. Too much on that. And the Sanger over. You won't be happy with that. He probably a little bit short. 3 for 56 after 7. Game on. Run rate 8. Required 7. Kelly is the key. And we got a double change, don't it? I think that's still...
The Australians all out at the MCG in that little Boxing Day match. Being played at the same time as this one, 467. Australia dismissed, so there'll be a little, about an hour or so.
Bowering, well, there's a reverse sweep almost. Almost finds the hands there of Cooper Connolly there at fine leg inside the circle. Geez, you'd be filthy if you got out doing that. Goodwin again, waiting, comes out of the crease. Nicely fielded, they'll still get through for a single.
What he should have done to the ball the first time rather than try and do the fancy little reverse sweep.
Well, that was Liam Scott. Can you believe it? He didn't field that properly. Has to be going a lot faster than in the air. Kelly again. They're all back. 3 on the rope on the onside. He puts it along the grass instead. Well played. Three for 58. Bowering once more, the leggy. That's a better ball, right in the block hole. Misfielded, they'll go through for a single. He'll be disappointed there. Maxie Clayton didn't clean field that.
We've seen some moments of really great fielding and other moments of pretty ordinary fielding.
So only one man inside the circle on the onside, and that's just a fine leg, and extra cover comes into play. Scott.
So certainly a little bit of extra homework for the coaching staff with a bit of fielding, although, as I said, there's been some moments of outstanding catching and fielding and moments of some pretty poor catching and fielding.
Again, there's a single there. Runs it through hard, Goodwin, just in case.
Suggests it's more a concentration problem for the fielders rather than a technique. particularly the catches that they've dropped were ones that should have been caught and were pretty well hit straight to them. So it was a concentration, just probably having it caught before it was caught. In that case, fielded before it was actually fielded.
So Bowering, at the end of his over. Sanger will continue from the Northern End for his second over. 10 off his first. Bowering 2 overs, none for 11. Now Kelly, he's got a man right on the rope in Liam Marshall. Did he take him on? No, it's down leg side, and that's a pretty easy single.
Yeah, Willens and McClure, whoever it was, they had a long way to go down to pick it up.
Yeah, it was Willens. McClure's got the super salad, the headband. Sanger again, that's a better ball. Pushes it up into the block hole about 3 foot in front of the batsman and Goodwin. Not much you could do about that.
Sanger's played some BBL cricket with the Thunder, so certainly used to this situation.
Oh, that's a good ball. It's beaten everything. I don't think we've had an LBW yet, have we, Bill? No.
No, not today. Not a run out either. We've had an excellent stumping in the first innings. And Sleeman the keeper. Quick on the bails and Kenzie Harvey.
Strain down on the leg side, and this left and right hand is just messing with Sanger. Rose the keeper for the Gilchrist 12. Wearing the sleeveless. Or maybe it is a full-length sweater. No number on his back. A Sanger again. It's a fuller ball. Still again straying down leg side. Fielded by Scott.
Struggling to find a boundary off Sanger.
True.
This point was when the Gilchrist 11 got away from him, although Ponting 11 then pulled him back later in their innings.
Oh, it's a lovely shot. And Willens will have to dive for that. He misses now. He'll have to get up and re-chase that. I will turn for 3. Might be the first 3 run for the match. My memory's not too good, but
Excellent bit of running there to get it to halfway to the boundary and still run 3.
exactly.
Suggests again, not to be too unkind to Willens, but yeah, when you're that tall, it's a bit hard to get down to pick it up. And then sort of dive to try and stop it, and then missed it, and then by the time you get yourself back up again and chase it down.
Yeah. 6 off the over for Sanger. Probably should have only been 4. And we've got a change at the southern end. Looks like it might be Will Sanders. Well, he sent fine leg straight to the fence. Three for 66 at the end of 9 overs.
He's gone the suburban field pretty much right from the start as well, with a fielder in every postcode. They're all pretty scattered around the place. He's about to bowl the halfway over mark over.
Well, they're opening the door here, I think.
There's plenty of opportunities for singles.
I'm more than happy to take it. As Goodwin waits for Sanders. That'll find fine leg. It's the one.
So yeah, plenty of opportunities for singles or cleverly placed 2s, because there's a lot of gaps with that field the way it was set. We'll see if it changes for the right-handed Kelly.
What was the when did the third wicket fall, Bill? What was that on?
It was on. Well, I didn't get
27, maybe?
21, I thought.
So these two have righted the ship nicely, almost 50. I think the last time I said that in the first innings, there was a wicket anyway. Kelly steps out and he's going to hit that over. Extra cover, and that's going to go for 4. Just gets there. And backward point. Well, they didn't get all of that, and probably just as well.
Yeah, but they needed that boundary. They've been struggling to find the boundary in the last couple of overs. They've got the 3 off the previous over, but they really need a few more boundaries if they want to take some pressure off in the last overs.
Kelly's a 32 off 23. Sanders again from the southern end. Bit of a grunt, smacks that down. Willens give chase. He'll give up. I'll turn for 2. McClure will do the fielding in the deep. I don't know where the wind is, but Sanders, that grunt I could hear up here with the headsets on. We don't have the stump mic. And Sanders, one of 3 short ball. That's been belted through mid-wicket. That's 4 runs, 2 bounces. 2 short there, Sanders. Got punished. And Kelly.
He was probably lucky to get away with a 4 instead of a 6. That was very short. And Jim just sat up and said, hit me wherever you like.
I was about to say, Sanders, one of 3 University of Queenslanders in this side. But mid-wicket, well, straight away, Mackenzie Harvey is pushed mid-wicket back. Third man came up, but he's been pushed back now, and Tanvir Singh will come up from fine leg inside the circle. It's a worrying partnership here as Sanders comes in again. Belts that over the top of the infield, and that will go for 4 as well. 2 short, Will Sanders again gets punished on the other side.
Yeah, a couple of boundaries in this over. Really taking some of the pressure off the Ponting 11. And their chase of the Gilchrist XI, 145 they needed at the start of the day to pull it in.
Willen's having a chat to his club mate. So third man comes up. Sanders again to Kelly. Kelly, a nice little dab, quick single. Doing what he likes, Kelly, at the moment. He's hitting the loose ones, finding a single when the ball's well bowled, and that is the end of the over. He's going to get a drink, and he probably deserves one at the 3 for 82 after 10.
Yep, turned away. And interesting to note, at the same time, 1 for 82
Oh,
was the Gilchrist 11. And a quite expensive over there. 16 coming off that over.
well, we said it before, you know, 1 over can change a game. And I thought at one point there was a drop catch by the Gilchrist 11 that went for 6. Was that a pivotal moment? You know, it went from either a wicket to 6. And then you see an over like that with 16 runs. Does that turn the game in the favour of the Ponting 11? 12. And Kelly gets reset again. Tanvir Singh back into the attack. Up for 16 from his 2. Well, he's not back in his attack. This is his 3rd straight, isn't it, Bill?
3rd straight,
Yeah.
yep.
Been so long, that over took forever from Sanders.
Adjusts his field around a little bit further.
He needs that.
It's taken away the fine leg protection, so no one fine.
Lovely shot there from Kelly. Finds the man in the deep. I'll turn for 2. Well picked up.
That's going to put a fair bit of pressure on Sanger. He obviously feels up to it that he can really attack outside the off stump, because you only need someone like Kelly to come in behind, and just you'll find 4 behind square leg every time.
Kelly, lovely off drive for 1. Well, was it a call by Sanger or was it a call by Harvey to try and get him to straighten up, because he was a little bit wayward on the legs? And now there's a left-hander on strike. We'll see if he adopts the same philosophy.
Again, he'll be spinning it into the left-hander, so takes his
Short ball. Reverse sweep over that man who's come up inside the circle. Only just. Won't get to the fence. They'll turn for two. Kelly's got his roller skates on. He's almost overlapped his teammate Goodwin. 3 more. Wow. That could have been... It was brilliant in the end, but it could have been horrible.
Well, again, that space was there. And Goodwin saw that if he just could get it behind point, then he was going to be right. And again, they run 3 down to that area.
You were right, Billy. You have to find a way to get it down there, and he got it. It's a great...
And again, for Kelly, there's a big space between a backward square leg, 3/4 of the way to the rope, and then all the way round to fine leg. That's where the French cut can come into play.
Yes. He's seeming like a watermelon at the moment. The pitch is absolutely flattened out. There's no turn. Bounce is true. Go the non-strike because then Kelly, and he's done the job for this over. Brings Goodwin on strike. We had to wait for that.
And it took a while to get down to him. Bats it back down for a single.
Yeah, Sanger disappointed with that over, and he knows the left and right-handed have messed with his line. The end of the 11th over, 3 for 90. Kelly on 47, Goodwin 23.
And it was at this moment in the innings where for a while, for about 7 overs, they were able to put the brakes onto the Gilchrist 11 innings. That'll be an opportunity now to see if the Ponting 11 can kick themselves away.
Well, the main man's on. Clue, 2 for 11 from his 2, but those 2 catches you can thank Liam Scott for. Or one of them anyway.
Yeah, he certainly bowled plenty of wicket-taking deliveries.
He's a big man. He's going to bowl his 3rd over. I'm not sure whether he's needed... Well, he's taken off for his 2nd. He's probably needed for the last 2. They need a breakthrough here. 3 for 90. Goodwin on strike. A left-hander. Square drives that to man deep extra cover for 1, and that brings Kelly on strike. So
well, I guess the captain's decided that they're not going to be saving runs to try and get the result. They're going to need to take wickets, so he's brought his wicket-taking bowler back on. Maybe give him an over to see if he can eke out another wicket at this crucial moment.
Yeah, he got the caught behind to get rid of Fanning, and Scott taking a screamer at point to get rid of Owen. He's up against Kelly. You're seeing him. Whoops. Actually, I think they were changing the boundary sponsorship signs. He's pulled out, which is fair enough.
What caused me to pull out for a moment, I was about to say something, and then a flash of light.
McClure will have to start again. As I said, Kelly, can do no wrong. Kiss of death right there. Down the leg side, wide. Well, he's bowling to his field with that sort of delivery. He's got 3 men on the rope on the leg side. Fine leg, backward square, mid-wicket. So McClure there to Kelly. He's on 47 off 31. Lovely shot through. Extra cover for just the 1. They ran that one fast. Good work. So they're still testing the fieldsman. That was Scott in the deep. Brings Goodwin back on.
They're not taking any risks against the form bowler in McClure. Happy to see him off. With only the 1 spinner, I'm not really sure how well the over rate's going here for the
The Ponting 12. Bowlers take their time to get back to their mark. The quicks, McClure again. And that's been hit through backward. Point for 4, trying to get there, and he does, and he reels it in. There's Will Sanders. But 2 more to the total.
Well, I'm not sure how they go about selecting the teams, but certainly the tallest bowlers are sitting in the Gilchrist 11. in McClure and Willens. And they more a lope back to their mark than a walk back to their mark.
Mm. Well, gives Goodwin time to think. He'll have to rush his shot, and Kelly at the other end sucking in the big ones. Again, this finds point. They'll get a quick single well run. Straight away he called Kelly, and straight away he ran.
Good work. Pleasing work for the coaches of both these teams. See their boys being smart in their calling and in their running. Come World Cup time. It's going to be those little 1%ers that are going to be the difference between whether they come away holding the World Cup at the end. They got to the final last time, but defeated by India in that final.
McClure. 5 men on the offside. Gets a leading edge. Doesn't carry, unfortunately, there to Mackenzie Harvey at short extra cover. Yeah, it's funny. The 1%ers are coming back from the Youth Cup run by the Bulls Masters here in Queensland. And Carl Rackman, we were talking on air about those little 1%ers, and there is probably 100 of them to make up the 100%. It's ball watching, it's running between wickets, it's good calling, it's all sorts of short fieldsmen, everything that make up the complete game. Short ball, rolls his wrist nicely, finds backward square leg for 1. It's not just the 3 disciplines, there's so many things built into each discipline. That's the end of the over there by McClure. Doesn't get the breakthrough needed. 3 for 97. That would be a very similar score, I think, Bill.
2 for 99. So, yeah, they're in and around that mark. 7 off that over with just knocking it around for a single and the odd 2.
This is where the Ponting 11 brought it back. 49 required of 48. 49 required of 48 balls.
Yeah, they were pretty tight right up to the 18th over. They got away a little bit towards the end. But Sanger's going to bowl his 4th and final over. They're going to bowl him straight through.
Good call.
He's been pretty tight. It doesn't look like necessarily taking a wicket, but he's certainly been the bowler that's soaked up the runs.
Number 24 at the start of this over. 10 off the first, 6 off the second. But straight away, Goodwin was definitely wanted that run. Little hesitation. That's gone high and long over mid-wicket, and that will be 6. Well, is that the turning point?
Well, that is the traditional left-handed slog. Pretty much is what you call it, straight out to cow corner. He just goes down on one leg and bang, slogs him for 6 right from the start. That was just beautiful to watch.
Brings up the 100 off 74 balls. 8 fours and that's 6. Sanger again. Goodwin, well, treated the ball with the respected deserve with that one, just the 1. It's Kelly on strike. This partnership is just, is it a match-winning one? 3 for 105. Sanger again to Kelly. Kelly steps out and gets a thick inside edge there to finally go races in. Well fielded there by McClure. Goodwin again. So the man at cow corner there isn't all the way on the rope. Worries me, Bill. And there's another little 1%. Foolish ball, and he finds Willens at extra cover, no run. All 3 of them are looking into or 2 of them are looking into the sun. Kelly 51 off 36. Ably supported there by Goodwin. So, yeah, you look at the scorecard, Owen 8, Fanning 3 and Burden 4.
One person we haven't seen bowl yet, who certainly in the 17s had a great carnival, was Cooper Connolly.
Looks like it's Liam Scott's going to have a bowl. Well, that takes their best fieldman out of the field, Bill. 3 for 107. Kelly 51. That's the end of 13 overs. And Sanger's 4 overs, none for 34.
Yeah,
So it's their sixth bowler they're going to use.
Scott more of a batter than a bowler. Has already played Sheffield Shield cricket this season for South Australia.
Did he play that last game we called? I think he did. You're right. Scott comes in right arm over. Southern end. Goodwin just pushes it to point and Kelly calls him through for an easy single.
The South Australia coming through with a victory in their final Sheffield Shield match. Before Christmas, their first win in a season and a half. Much celebrating going on.
I can imagine. Even swinging off the Victor Richardson gates. So Kelly looks to see where the men are. They're square. He seems to be looking good straight. Waits for Scott and he pulls that down behind square leg. Some work to be done. That's whistling along the outfield there. He taps it back in and comes back for 2. I thought they was going to beat Cooper Connolly to the rope there for a second. He stops the boundary. 2 more. 3 for 110. Just soft hands there and an easy single. So Kelly on his haunches, a little bit gassed. He's been there for a while. 3 for 111.
Well, they've hit a couple of threes, which we didn't see much of in the first innings from the Gilchrist 11.
The other thing is it's also quick singles as well. That's gone slashed over backward point. Here's 2. And Kelly not in any hurry to turn that into 3.
No, they've been able to turn it from 3 for 20 odd to get themselves up over the 100 mark without a lot of boundaries. There's been a couple of boundaries, but mainly through 2s, 3s and singles. Haven't found the rope as much as they'd probably like to.
Well, Goodwin joined Kelly in the power play, as you recall. They lost their 3rd wicket. So they've been out there for a long time and they had to guide themselves. Had a lot of trouble losing 3 quick wickets, and that was Goodwin pulls that to Willens in the deep. Sorry, that might be McClure.
Not overly hot afternoon. Pretty nice. Balmy 24 degrees here on the Gold Coast.
It's lovely.
Smell of salt in the air coming straight off Surface Paradise. Closest beach to us.
Yeah, not far away. Carrara used to be the home of the AFL. Still is, I should say. But in the old days, I think the Lions or the Bears might have even played here.
Brisbane Bears played here.
Yeah.
Then moved up to the Gabba.
Yep.
Now the Gold Coast Suns play out of Metricon. Also used in the Commonwealth Games. The Gold Coast Commonwealth Games.
I think it's a wonderful stadium. Right on the top of everything. At the end of the over. Well, Sanger's finished his 4, so they'll look for another Turner, and they have. think it is. Will Bowring's going to change ends. So Bowring, who bowled from the southern end, has been swung around to the northern end. And as Bill Dean said, the pitch is right in the middle of Metricon, so you don't adjust your bowls to suit the short boundaries because they're all the same length and they're big. I'd say they're as big as the Gabba, but they're not far short of it.
No, it's a fair size. So we'll certainly see tonight in the Stars Thunder match, Star Strikers match, sorry.
Bowring to Goodwin, who's on 39. I don't see where the next wicket's coming from, Bill. I think these two, the only way they can get, I think, Kelly out is because he's fatigued. You might play a lazy shot. You might say, oh, well, he's only been out there for 40 minutes, but it's been a crackerjack, quick fire, 45 minutes. Lots of running between wickets. Foolish ball, drives that to mid-off for one. Calls him through Goodwin, good running. Takes on the arm and wins.
Yeah, lovely bit of batting, as we said earlier, that these two have been really working hard on their twos and threes. They've turned a lot of singles into twos. We've seen them turn a couple of twos into threes. It's causing just a bit of a change to the field, but there's a big space in mid-wicket. Mid-wicket's back onto the rope.
We saw Kelly do a reverse sweep before, and that's got a late cut there. It doesn't beat the man at backward gully, one.
Again, a fair bit of pressure onto the bowler to keep their line and length accurate.
I think that's helped a lot, Bill. The left and right. Sanger couldn't handle it. Bowring has to cope. Slashes that to the sweeper in the deep there and Scott, and just the one. Interesting mannerism there by Kelly. Always unzips his gloves when he gets to the non-strikers in and cool his hands as we wait for a fielding change.
Getting that big lot of real estate there in mid-wicket. Just you can knock it into there. He'll pick up two.
Well, he's gone inside out and he's gone to deep extra cover, one, and he'll turn for two. And that was the fatigue shot I was talking about, Bill. He's just managed to find open country, but just a little bit of a lazy shot, but gets away with it. Going great guns is Kelly. 59 off 42. Thinks about coming out, goes back into his crease for a single. Saw him coming, I think, Bowring.
Good bit of fielding there because that was that big bit of real estate, and he ran in about 40, 50 metres off the rope to keep it just to a single.
End of the Bowring over, none for 19. 3 for 122 after 15 overs. And both batsmen a little bit gassed in the middle of Metricon.
They've been keeping the scoring rate moving along and ahead on runs at the moment. The 3 for 109 was the Gilchrist 11 at that moment. Again, that was in the middle of some good tight bowling.
Yeah, interesting enough, he's brought Will Sanders back on, Bill, who went for 16. Interesting play.
Well, he only got 1 over left of McClure, 2 overs of Willens, or
3 of Willens.
3 overs of Willens.
So you can see there that McClure's got 1 over to go. He has 2 for 18, and Sanders none for 16 from his 1. Willens 1 for 9 from his 1. They need 24 runs to win.
I would have
30 balls.
I thought they might have bowled Wylands out.
Sanders is coming into Kelly. Kelly slashed that over. Third man, 4 runs. Sanders, well,
he bowls a nice pace.
He does bowl a nice pace, but his line's
just a nice pace to be able to hit it for 4.
Yes, it's deja vu from the first over. Just too short.
Too short, too wide. Gives the batsman plenty of space.
Well, for somebody who's in like Kelly, so he's kept third man up. Liam Marshall inside the ring. Sanders again. He'll come up with a Jaffa and a half here in a second. You watch. But anyway, that's hitting straight down the ground, and they'll just take one. He's no doubt to his talent. That's why he's not picked for his good looks. Quite capable of Sanders. Just have to find it. Unlike our technicians here, solely predict not because of their IT skills, just their drop dead good looks. And I mean drop dead. Sanders has a bit of a chat to the skipper, Mackenzie Harvey, so he wants to change it. He's dropped third man back, or I should say fine leg back, and third man. Sanders again, they're giving away singles. Short ball. Doesn't get all that, they'll take a single. Skipper Harvey misfields.
There's plenty on offer. Just to keep that. They don't have to work too much harder. They're just on track to get that 145 reeled in.
He's 17 now.
The Gilchrist XI really need to pick up some wickets and find them from somewhere. Probably be going back to McClure.
Well, they nearly need all 7 wickets. Kelly. Plenty of real estate there. He'll turn Kelly, puts the pressure on the fieldsman. They'll take 2 and Goodwin's home. Nothing Cooper Connolly could do about that.
And again, that's where the tactics of winning the toss and the teams knowing that they can chase, because the whole time they just know what they need to do. They know what they need to do. No need for panic, particularly from these two. These two are doing it quite easily at the moment. They might be a bit fatigued, but...
They're young, Bill. Youth on their side. Kelly again just glides at the man at the backward point. They still take a single. Kelly running to the...
There's a good bit of running to be able to hit it straight to the fielder inside the circle and still get a single.
Good one on strike. What is this partnership worth? Let's have a look at it. They came in. Well, 3 for 21. That rings a bell. Certainly got over a 100-run partnership. And not given one chance. Goodwin waits for Sanders. Now this will test him. A direct hit, but no. Goodwin makes it home easy. Mackenzie Harvey kicks the ground. End of the over. Yeah, too many runs off that. Sanders able to build any pressure. Matt Willens looks like he's going to come to the southern end. Waiting for him is Mackenzie Harvey, and the instructions will be a hat trick. Would be nice.
Oh, they're going to need something like that.
So a tall left-hander from the UQ club here in Brisbane. Took a wicket in his first and only over. He also started with a no ball.
Just 4 overs remaining, 14 runs. Seven wickets still in the shed.
Yeah. I'd really like to see an extra cover close, along with a man at mid-wicket, just close, just put some pressure on to go over the top, bring third man into it as they try and hit over. Mackenzie Harvey is in extra cover, but he's not close enough. Willens, Northern end for his second over. He has 1 for 10. Foolish ball, and that's been slashed to cover for 1. That's all it'll be. And brings Kelly on strike. And Kelly, I think Kelly, they can get him. I think he's a little bit fatigued.
Yes, they haven't given too many chances, though, when you sit back and start to think about it. There's
No.
not a lot that they've played and missed.
No.
Nothing that's nearly been caught.
Well, is he bowling over the wicket still? Because Goodwin's in the way.
He's coming around the wicket.
No, I think yes, he is. He starts off on the other side. Oh, Wes. Well, for someone who's been watching Matt Williams bowl, that's something he does quite often. But he hasn't done it often enough here at Metricon.
No, and that time he coming round the wicket, really angling it into the batter, and then just got that one just to move away a touch.
Probably too much, Bill. Beat the outside edge.
See if he's good enough to get the edge this time. He bowls to Kelly.
Fully forward going down leg side. They come through for a quick single leg by. This Goodwin, I don't know, he's on red cordial without water. He's a jackrabbit. And there hasn't been a hesitation between their running between wickets either, Bill.
No.
Just go.
No. It's been good, crisp running. They've taken some really short singles like that one there where it just hits the pad and pretty much stays on that spot on the wicket, and they still get through for a single.
Yeah, I think it may have been Kelly who did a pull shot and landed his feet. He had no idea, and Goodwin just called him through straight away, and he responded. Williams goes back over the wicket to the left-hander, full ball. Finds the gloves of Rowe.
Yeah, he's just pitching full.
Can't see. He just rolls that back to Matt Williams. Yes, he needs something special now. He has tightened it up a little bit this over, as Williams. Goodwin, that's a foolish ball again. Wide. Not your day today, Matt Williams.
No, it's the right idea on trying to go wide and full outside the off stump, but just a little too wide. To keep it inside that blue line.
Yeah, he's trying to bring third man into calculations here for a slash from Goodwin. With the pace of Williams, you want to be careful not to go all the way. I mean for 6. Fuller ball. That one's got some good carry. Sometimes fast bowlers just have to bowl fast.
Yep.
Just bowl fast.
Well, he's got the size on him that he just needs to bowl fast and full and wide outside that off stump. Yorker is an under bowl delivery in a lot of these games, and Yorkers don't have to be at the stumps necessarily. They can be right on that crease line, wide outside the stump. Makes it hard for the batter to get underneath it.
You get an in-swinging York and come off the pads. It's a lovely shot. It's going to be fielded in the deep there by Liam Marshall, and I'll turn for 2. 137. For loss of 3 wickets, so I can hear the big lady limbering up the vocal cords. Williams, not bad. Over 9 runs now required from the final 3. Only get 3 off that one, Bill.
Yeah. One of those was a wide.
Yeah, I think this will be Sanders continuing. No, they're going to bring back Liam Scott. Agony to ecstasy to agony.
Interesting, because they still had an over up the sleeve for McClure.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, the ecstasy to agony. Took 2 screaming catches to have the Gilchrist XII 3 for 20. That's the slowest.
Oh, he nearly hooked it to the keeper.
The keeper almost got underneath it. To take the catch, it's going to take 2 off the total. That was...
We'll see the replay here where he just got so slow and just wasn't that far away from the keeper. Never seen you hook it straight to the keeper.
Maybe a misguided reverse sweep, but not a hook. Anyway, and Kelly, he deserves to be there at the end. 70 off 50. Goodwin on 46. An opportunity for him to get a 50 as well, but Kelly's on strike here at the moment. It's down leg side. That doesn't help. 3 for 140. 6 to go.
Yep, these two have batted very well.
Yeah, like you said, Bill, not one chance given. Not even a run-out opportunity. Short ball. Waits for it. Pulls it to mid-wicket. 1. Comes back for 2. Slight misfield. The field's been under pressure. So 4 remaining. Goodwin needs 4 for his 50. Kelly on his haunches. And there's still 4 balls to go in this over. Scott again. That's in the air, but it's safe over extra cover. They'll think about 2. They'll come back for 2. And Kelly moves to 74 off 52. Two required. 3 balls remaining in this over. So now Mackenzie Harvey is bringing his men in, or 2 of them. Only the 3 men out now. Well, it's a chance for a run out. He's missed completely. They're going to go through for a run. And that'll level the scores. Well, it just pretty much sums up the afternoon for the Ponting 11.
Would have been a horrible way to win a game, maybe by overthrows. Got a moment there I thought he was going to throw it for 4.
Well, it would have been a horrible way for... Well, we talked about their running between wickets has been outstanding. It was a ball that came off the end of the bat.
Yeah, like a pool shot.
Anyway, he gets the single. Well, he's got a chance here. They need 1 to win. For Goodwin to hit a 4 to bring up his 50 and end the match. Scott comes in again. He's going to glide that to a backward point. They'll come through for a single. That's a great victory there by the Ponting 12. They come from behind. They were down for and out at 3 for. Billy Dean run us through what's been a great win here, led by Mr. Kelly.
Well, it has been, and yeah, I had probably written them off like others when they were 3 for 20 odd. But these two have put on an outstanding partnership of 120 plus to come away with the victory. But to go back through the scoreboard, Fanning out for 3, Mitchell Owen for 8, then Hugo Burden for 4, 2 outstanding catches by young Scott. Thought there was going to be an opportunity there for victory, but then we've seen these two, Kelly and Goodwin, take them through to victory by 7 wickets with 2.5 overs still to spare. 72 not out for Kelly. Jaden Goodwin finishing 47 as well, not out. And a pleasant little victory for the Ponting 11. Wicket takers, just 2 for McClure, 1 for Willens. And the bragging rights will go this afternoon in Melbourne to Ricky Ponting as the team comes away with a victory over the young Gilchrist 11 here at Metricon Stadium. Yeah,
a wonderful show of some of the great talent on display here, and we wish the side that's picked to go to South Africa all the best, and we hope they come home with the chocolate. Silverware eluded them last time, but with this squad that I've seen out here today, there's no reason why they can't go all the way this year. So, Billy, well, what an afternoon at Metricon. What a better way to spend Friday afternoon than with you.
Absolutely great Friday afternoon, spending it here on the Gold Coast ahead of tonight's Big Bash match between the Melbourne Stars. Have a home game on the Gold Coast against the Adelaide Strikers. We'll see Glenn Maxwell maybe go to town here on the coast and light up the stadium in this afternoon's Big Bash. We've seen that already happen this afternoon with Tom Kelly, the South Australian, 74 off 52 deliveries. Ably helped by Jake Goodwin's 46 from 36 deliveries, has given the win And congratulations to the Ponting 11 over the Gilchrist 11. Thanks so much, John Devine, for your time this afternoon. I'm Billy Deem. Thanks a lot for tuning in and catching us. We'll pick you up on the live stream soon.